It is what it is. It seems to be fairly good so far. Really? What's up, Retro Militia? Twitch is telling me it's excellent. But yeah, it is what it is. But looking at stream, but yeah, it is what it is. Actually, I might clip that run. Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip that run of the. All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening here tonight? Got a little surprise for you tonight. If you guys didn't know. What's up, Retro Militia? Okay, we're good.
All right, we're waiting, Kyle.
How are you tonight? Tonight. Boom! Come on, let's go. Well, yeah, it is what it is. Solid. We got this.
Apex.
Oh!
Speedruns. Hot tubs. Things you want to watch. They're not here. We're still entertaining at Retro Militia. Streaming Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on Twitch.
What's up, Retro Militia? There we go. Making quick work of this guy. Oh god. My gameplay. But yeah, it is what it is. It seems to be fairly good so far. Really? What's up, Retro Militia? Twitch is telling me it's excellent. But yeah, it is what it is. But looking at stream, but yeah, it is what it is. Actually, I might clip that run. Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip that run of the. All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening here tonight? Got a little surprise for you tonight. If you guys didn't know.
Retro Militia.
Okay, we're good.
All right, we're waiting, Kyle.
How are you tonight? Tonight. Boom! Come on, let's go.
Good afternoon there, Retro Militia crew. How are you tonight?
Solid.
I'm your co-host, Jay, for the first and premiere episode of
We got this.
Between a Rock and a Hard Place. Yeah, that's right, Between a Rock and a Hard Place. If you don't like it, that's what Kyle called it, and that's what we made it. Welcome in, Seeky Wisdom. Nice to see you in.
Things you want to watch.
So we are super stoked.
We're still entertaining
We have
at
the
Retro Militia.
one and only Artyom Havok coming to Retro
Streaming
Militia
Mondays and
to
Wednesdays,
discuss a
6
few things
p.m.
that are
Eastern
close to his heart.
Standard Time.
So
Only on
I hope to have
Twitch.
everyone in, give a good warm welcome and support to Artyom Havok, because he is a fantastic dude. Just don't let him know that.
Retro Militia. There we go.
Yeah, so I hope everyone's having a good day. It is a beautiful day in my area. I had a beautiful lunch with my beautiful spouse. Then we took the dogs down to the beach, and they had a hoot. And then I got my ass back here to get ready for this stream. So I hope everyone's having a great day. So let's see what's going to happen in the next few minutes. It's going to be very quick. This starting soon.
All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now.
So,
What's up,
man, yesterday I was working my butt off, and I think I got a little bit overheated. I was you never know what Artyom Havok will do next. That is true. Man, this guy just never stops. Every time I go on, he's always on. I think he doesn't sleep, or he's streaming in bed. One of the two. Hey, Sneaky Wisdom, you're still around. I thought I scared you away.
How are you tonight?
Still, hey, I still have to say a thank you to Haggard and Siki Wizard for having me on their stream. Between two beards. That was a great opportunity, and I thank you for that.
We got this.
Have no fear. Yes, I'm a little nervous tonight. And be in the presence of Artyom Havok on the same channel, man, that's gonna be a little bit nervous.
Things you want to watch. They're not here.
And there he
still
is.
entertaining. At Retro
In text
Militia.
form right now. He will be soon on the
Streaming
screen.
Mondays and Wednesdays, 6
Yeah,
p.m.
so getting back,
Eastern
I was
Standard
working
Time.
on the patio.
Only on
If you didn't
Twitch.
see it on Discord, you can check it out.
Boy, can't believe you
Oh,
actually
yeah,
shared
he's
the
hosting.
stream.
Thank you.
Thanks for
What's
sharing.
up, Retro
Yeah,
Militia? There we go. Making quick work of this guy.
There's the Discord link. Yeah, so I was working on the patio, and I was
But yeah.
finish up what patio since I had, and then I just then I started building the shed. I'm not finished the patio, but I had to get the shed up so I can move some stuff out of the garage because it's getting piled up. You know how it is. The older you get, the more shit you bring.
Actually,
So that's how it works.
Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip
So,
that run.
anyways, I got a little. I think I got a little overheated,
audio
because
to
I
you
didn't
guys
feel
now.
well after. I was like, oh, a little at 1 o'clock. You know, at the hottest point of the day. So I just kind of, you know,
What's happening here
took a
tonight?
few minutes, had some water, chilled, and I was good to go.
What's happening here?
And there's the countdown.
Got a little surprise
All
for you
right,
tonight.
so I'm gonna let you leave you to a commercial here, and then I'm gonna get myself ready, grab some water, and I'll be right
Okay,
back
we're good.
with Kyle and Artyom Havok.
waiting, Kyle.
How are you tonight? Tonight.
Color prints. When you choose Black's processing included
on,
film,
let's
you
go.
get quality fine grain color
Oh, yeah.
film and Black bigger better color prints. All included for one low price. Martin? It's a super way to save money because your color prints are included when you buy this film. Black's film with color prints included. It's their best deal. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. And one more way.
They're not here. We're still entertaining at Retro Militia. Streaming Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on Twitch.
What's up, Retro Militia? There we go. Making quick work of this guy. Oh god. My gameplay. But yeah, it is what it is. It seems to be fairly good so far. Really? What's up, Retro Militia? Twitch is telling me it's excellent. But yeah, it is what it is. But looking at stream. But yeah. It is what it is. Actually, I might clip that run. Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip that run of the. All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening here tonight? What's happening here tonight? Got a little surprise for you tonight. You guys didn't know. What's up, Retro Militia? Okay, we're good.
All right, we're waiting, Kyle.
How are you tonight? Tonight. Boom! Come on, let's go. Well, yeah, it is what it is. Solid. We got this.
Apex.
Oh,
Speedruns. Hot tubs. Things you want to watch. They're not here. We're still entertaining at Retro Militia. Streaming Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on Twitch.
what's up, Retro Militia? There we go. Making quick work of this guy. Oh god. my gameplay. Well, yeah, it is what it is. It seems to be fairly good so far. Really? What's up, Retro Militia? Twitch is telling me it's excellent. Well, yeah, it is what it is. But looking at stream. Well, yeah. It is what it is. Actually, I might clip that run. Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip that run of the. All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening here tonight? Got a little surprise for you tonight. If you guys didn't know. What's up, Retro Militia? Okay, we're good.
All right, we're waiting, Kyle.
How are you tonight? Tonight. Boom! Come on, let's go. Well, yeah, it is what it is. Solid. We got this. What's up, Retro Militia? There we go. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening? Such an exciting night here tonight. I'm super excited. What about you, Jay? You super excited for the premiere of Between a Rock and a Hard Place? Oh no, Jay. Where's your volume? I can't hear you.
It's been crazy. I'm so
go.
crazy I forgot to unmute my mic. Look at that.
Got those.
Off the cuff jitters, eh? Like just no. Yeah, it's been a work in progress, and I'm just super stoked to be here today. Thanks, Kyle, for taking the opportunity to try this out.
This is awesome. I'm super psyched this afternoon, this evening, wherever it is that you are. This is our very first Between a Rock and a Hard Place guest speaker stream. And we've got an awesome, amazing guest for you guys tonight. He has got his fingers into so many different things. He's a great retro gaming streamer.
Retro Militia.
There's not enough things we can say that'll do him justice, but we'll give him a chance to speak here in a couple minutes. First, I want to say, hey, what's going on, Seeky Wisdom? Welcome in. Baird Snag, welcome in. How's it going, everyone? Welcome into the Retro Militia. I hope you guys are going to have fun. Before we bring in Artyom Havok, we just want to let you guys know of a new redemption that we have available for tonight. Okay, so down in, look at this. Busting out the Artyom Havok emotes. So we have a new redemption. It's called the Question Jar. So you redeem the Question Jar, and we've got a beautiful jar full of random questions here for Artyom Havok. And this gives you guys the opportunity to interact with the chat and get us to pull out one of those random questions and pose that to our guest speaker tonight, Artyom Havok, and we'll see what he comes up with for an answer. Yeah, other than that, we've got a kind of a new layout. You guys are going to see a new kind of a new setup here for Between a Rock and a Hard Place, our bi-weekly Sunday guest appearance stream. It's going to be awesome. How about you, Jay? How you feeling? Are you good? Do we both have our nervous jitters out of the way now? Can we, can we bring our bring our guest speaker in?
I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good. I'm drunk. No.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So, guys, without further ado, let's bring in our guest speaker for tonight. None other than the amazing Artyom Havok. Hey! What's going on?
Not a retro streamer.
Not a retro streamer. Here we go. Not a retro streamer. Okay. There's clarifications that need to be done all over the place. Clarify that for me, my friend, Artyom.
Oh my goodness.
This guy over here, he knows.
Yeah. He's not a retro streamer. As Soda on YouTube told him.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, his very first.
Oh no, I'm not a gamer according to YouTube. I'm one of those fake gamers that sucks all the money out of half of the viewers that don't know what they want.
Yes, exactly. Artyom is so popular, he has haters now.
Yeah,
oh, wow. I guess, and it's that's probably along the lines of, there's no such thing as bad press, right? You know what I mean? Or there's no such thing
True.
as bad attention when it comes to that. You know, good and bad, it's all attention, right?
That's true. This troll farm guy is absolutely well, he's now a meme in my circle. He was so off base. It was crazy. Remind me later, and I'll just read the quote because it's you just can't.
Yeah, when I was on that stream when you were talking about it, and I was just like, "What? Does he actually show up to the stream and watch the stream?
No.
Or
No.
did he just like randomly generate a hate question or hate response to random YouTube channels? I don't know. It's weird.
Well,
Whatever.
It almost looked like very copy paste, like he was just going around to Twitch VODs on YouTube and just plop plop plop. And I would have been like, that's absolutely what it was. But I saw that he had edited it to fix something, and then I was just like, is he being serious here? And I watched that whole video in like 2-speed, and there wasn't any subs, donations, me talking about anything with money. There wasn't even a new follow on that stream for 3 hours, and I'm just like, you didn't watch this. You're just posting comments.
I think it's maybe he probably just doesn't like either the YouTube or Twitch, like the stream concept. Maybe, I don't know. Obviously, that's a bit of ignorance there. Maybe I would say, I would hope. You never know, right?
He's just like you're just here. You want me to just read it? Let me just do this. Let's get this out of the way.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
All right.
Okay. Where am I gonna find that without changing the Discord? Did I save it here?
Seeky Wisdom said it's my favorite retro streamer. So
hey, Seek, I don't wanna screw up Discord. Would you mind posting the image in chat, and I'll grab the link and do that. I could just make all this pop out.
Yeah, we're not that big yet. We haven't had a hate comment like that. I give comments to Kyle all the time.
We're waiting for our first hate comment.
I'm waiting for it.
You made it.
I've tried to post stuff for Kyle, but it just wasn't working.
That's right. I think we tantalize each other enough that there's enough of that back and forthness between the two of us.
I haven't done enough.
We give ourselves a hard time.
I haven't done enough TikTok stuff. You shall not pass, Kyle.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
That's true. Artyom, have you? I know you have several social media platforms. Is TikTok something that you've dabbled in? I know, like for myself and Jay, we just recently kind of touched our feet in the water. It being a pretty popular social avenue right now for getting your name out there. Is that something that you've thought about, or that's not for you?
Not TikTok, no. Well. So TikTok's like the 5-second videos, right?
Yeah.
It's the short blips.
I will circle back around to that in a second. I have an Instagram, and here's the links. Let me just throw that in your chat, and I lost it. So prepared, Havok.
That's all good.
All right, so here's went on and shot you. Hey, thank you, Bart Snag.
There we go.
So here's my flow page. You can find links to all my stuff there.
That's awesome. We're gonna pop this up here.
Cool, great.
Yeah, you can keep speaking.
And you can absolutely click on these. And we can talk about this like more in depth at the end.
Yeah.
After I tell you why I'm so great. No. But there is an Instagram there, and if you click on that, we can just pop around in that. I post 6 days a week something in my collection, whether it's a big box PC game, console game, and on Sundays I do something out of my vinyl collection.
Oh, it's awesome.
And this is all stuff that's just super important to me, and honestly,
I have a question, Artyom.
Yeah.
So these, I know these are. Do you post the ones you always stream, or are you posting ones that are most cherished to you?
Basically, I'm just doing it, going down the list until I run out of things. Now, each one of those is like 10 images in each one, so they're not just the covers; they're full unboxings and going through the highlight the manual. Like it's not just an image.
Okay.
So with the vinyls, I show the vinyls and all that good stuff. Some fun pictures and strategy guides, just things that pique my interest.
That's super cool, man.
I know I mentioned it before, but I super love that desktop. I love the background, the star
Yeah.
pattern. That's always
Absolutely.
cool.
And that star pad was the first thing I ever bought with when I got my first Twitch payout. So
That's awesome.
that beautiful mat came from my viewers and supporters.
So this is this awesome, beautiful mat that's here in the background that we're talking about
Yeah,
now?
yeah. It is like it's a 3XL, so it takes up the entire workstation here on my desk.
That's so cool. I've got like not a 3XL, but I've got like, you know, a smaller one, but for sure, yeah. It makes a world of difference.
It does. And you know, it's like it's the little details like that. Like when you walk into a room, it just I don't know, you feel the energy, the excitement. You know, like if you got like I don't know if you're into like LED lights, you turn on the computer and there's all these flashy lights, like you feel something from that visual stimuli rather than just, you know, walking into a room with the keyboard.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's
Like it's
that
like
is-
hanging posters on the wall.
Yeah, it's absolutely important to set yourself in the mood, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's like any creativity. You want to put yourself in a creative source scene, and you know, be inspired yourself. Because if you're not inspired, you're not going to inspire others here. So
Yeah, yep.
Artyom, what
So,
are we
yeah.
looking at here? Are we looking at an autographed
Yeah,
album?
so
Oh,
a lot
sorry.
of the records that I've put on there so far have been autographed by bands and various artists. That one
Wow.
That one is Convictions. It's a religious hard rock band that I saw in concert a couple years ago. I just instantly fell in love with them. So they're kind of like a new metal type of group. Like think back to like Papa Roach, POD, like that era.
oh yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
And they brought on this kid. I'll tell a little story here.
Yeah.
So I went to see Oh Sleeper, which is an incredible metal band. Like absolutely one of my favorites. And these guys opened for them, and they were given this kid. They had this kid on guitar that was about half of all their ages. Like they're all about our age. We grew up with the new metal and post grunge, right? And they were just like oh he didn't grow up with this, so he's just been playing catch up on all this stuff. And I'm just like God, age, just stop.
Yeah.
But man, what this kid was doing on guitar was like bringing a whole new life into the genre. I mean, there's this generation that's past me that learned how to play musical instruments with the assist of YouTube, right? And all these tutorials and excellent teachers that weren't just whoever was down at the local music shop or a high school teacher that was, just trying to fill 45 minutes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see that in music lately. Like I definitely couldn't keep up, after my post band days. But this kid really brought something. Actually, I talked to him alongside after that. And I was just like, man, that's kind of rough that they were, giving you a hard time. I was like, seriously, never listen to them. Like, what you're doing is amazing. I have never seen anything like that. And then had a chat with all of them. Bought their vinyl. They opened it up and signed it. Like. Really, really cool guys. I recommend their music. They're called Conviction or Convictions. I can't remember if there's an S, but their music's good, really good. Like religious or not, like it's a solid set of thumps and twangs.
Yeah, for sure. Convictions. Yeah, convictions.
Convictions, yeah.
Awesome.
I find that's very important. I think it's like we like at my age or my time and at your guys' time, we only learnt from each other and from like teachers, right? That sometimes don't have that inspiration, or they get tired of doing something. So that's what I love about YouTube is like you can find someone that that clicks with you, like how you learn, right? And it's just it's empowering. Like I'm surprised to how that works for us now. Like it's crazy. I don't know. What do you think, Artyom? Do you think YouTube is a way to go with these days?
Oh, okay. Well, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So I had to replace wall outlets when we bought this house.
Oh yeah.
I got on YouTube, looked at a tutorial, said, "Shit, that's easy," and did it. Saved hundreds, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not something I went to school for. Like I went to school for automotive technology, so like I have a mechanical understanding, sure. But house wiring, no. But
Mhm.
I've been able to do things that was like, oh yeah, I can do that. there's some things I won't do. Like
That's
I'm
fair.
working up the courage to replace like an arc fault breaker.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
no.
that, yeah, yeah.
I don't necessarily want to turn off all the house power to do that because it's tricky to get it back on. Yeah, but YouTube, like, so knowledge has always been this gated thing, right? You go to college for it. You have to be a specialty. If you don't have that specialty, or if you didn't have somebody kind enough to teach you their version of whatever it was, you pay a lot of money. And like, I know that that's
Yeah.
jobs. I get that. But come on, knowledge shouldn't be gated.
No.
I don't think so.
No, I think you're right, and I think that's what.
But
I
that's
think
where YouTube
Google-
and WikiHow
Yeah,
and
yeah.
those come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree with that too, and I think now, like, I think one of our community members, Baird Snag, he's kind of pointed to us that the right to repair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you've purchased an item or you've purchased an electronic or a good or whatnot, and it has wearable parts on it, and if something wears out on it, it's maybe it's whatever, however old it is. I think you as a person who purchased that item should have the right to repair that item should you choose to want to do so. You should have access to the parts to do that, and you should be able to obtain the parts and the knowledge to do that. And I completely agree. That the guarding the knowledge and the YouTube stuff. Now I will err on the side of caution. Like, you're not going to find out how to do everything on YouTube, and there is some things, like you said, that you would shy away from doing, or you'd leave that to professionals. But I mean, for the most part, if the wealth of knowledge that is there is unbelievable. I don't use YouTube generally for entertainment. Like, I use YouTube mainly for how to, like, how do I fix this? How do I program this? How do I, it is my go-to kind of information hub, I would say, nowadays. And I couldn't agree with you more about the guarding of information. You know what I mean? And that whole right to repair, or right to take on something on your own, for sure.
It's how we created Retro Militia. Like, all the stuff that we're doing today is learned off of YouTube and a community basis system. And it only empowers each other, right? So what I agree. Gating information is just someone being insecure, I think, or is looking for money. Period.
Yeah, and there's no, it's not like we shouldn't have jobs with specialties for people that get paid to do complicated tasks. I'm not saying that at all.
No.
And, I don't want it to be, misconstrued whatsoever, because that's important. Specialists and all that's a great thing. Unfortunately, we all have to save money sometimes, and having the availability to repair things on our own
It gives you the choice.
It's good, and it's good to have the information out there. Yeah. So
that's the biggest thing. It gives you the choice. Do I want to do the hassle of learning and then repairing myself, or do I just hire someone to do it myself for on my behalf?
You should definitely have that option. I'm not shy when it comes to home improvements and things like that. And I mean, in my lifetime, I've learned over several like home renovations and several projects between myself and my wife that there's some things that, like, yeah, man, like, I want to save money too. Like, I'm not all about throwing my money out there for something that I can do myself. But at the same time, I agree as well. There's definitely times when, after a project was done, I sat down and I went, wow, if we would have hired somebody to do this for us that had the skills, they probably could have did this in a third of the time that it took me to fiddle fumble around with this project. And first learn how to do it, and then do it, make a few mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and then end up with a finalized product. Like, you're always going to have to go through that those stages, I think.
So, yeah. So what are some things you wanted to talk to us today? You had some. Yeah, I know you have some burning desires, and I know you're itching. And I'm gonna just say, Lise the Hound here.
burning desires.
Yeah.
And before before you do that, I just want to let the audience know that unlike normally Mondays and Wednesdays when we normally engage you guys, our focus here is Artyom. So we are not purposely trying to ignore you. We just want to focus on Artyom and have a heart-to-heart intellectual conversation. So my apologies. Yeah, my apologies to the crowd. Just so you're aware, if we miss something.
We will get to you. Yes, for sure, we will get to you. Please do not
heart-to-heart.
Please do not enter in chat. We will definitely get to your questions.
Absolutely.
We're not ignoring you. If you populate up a little bit, we will get over there and we'll take some stuff from the audience for sure.
All right.
And if anybody wants to like direct anything, you can absolutely at me in chat too.
Absolutely.
I'll get a little ding.
100%.
An interview stream, yes.
I agree with Bardsnag. Simple skill takes 5 minutes to learn how to, but it takes decades to do it perfectly every time. Yes. That stream where I learned how to make Ethernet connections, right? Cat5e connectors. Yeah. That took like maybe 10 tries before I was like, got it, and then could do it each time. I mean, everything takes practice. Hell, most of the time, like if I buy a lot of things at Goodwill, right? I'm all about a good thrift. I got these speakers that have, a bad volume pot, and I was like, I could try to replace that, but if I screw it up, that's my only one. I actually found, like, if I can find a second one and then try to fix the first one when I have a fallback, like, that's my general rule for, like, trying something new. But I actually did find another set that works pretty good, so I might take that on. Like, it's not that hard. Hopefully, I'll look at it on the inside, but it should just be like desoldering 3 to 4 prongs and, replacing it. As long as you can get the part.
Desoldering is something that I really need to work on. I really want to hone the skill of desoldering and removing things from circuit boards and replacing circuit boards. I love that side of the house, but it's not something that you just pick up and do. It's definitely takes some time.
It's on a knowledge base, it's skill based. You need to practice it, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Artsnag says, if you're ever looking for European exclusive games, I'm willing to help you out. We're talking like video games, yeah?
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. I got a couple. Yes. I got a couple non-US releases back there. Some wild ones too.
I can see your background there. You've got quite the shelf going on there. It looks amazing, and I will shelf that for now. But I will definitely ask you a little bit about yourself and your collection in the near future here.
Thank you, Bartsnack. I will probably take you up on that. Actually,
of course. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. So, what is on Artyom Havok's mind?
Clean with deox spray. Thank you, Seacross. Yes, you're right. I actually had forgotten about that. Sorry. What was the question?
I just said, what is on your mind? What is your what's one of those burning topics you have today?
Something that Seek and a couple other people keep saying to me. There's like, oh, Artyom Havok, the influencer. With every once in a while somebody will like follow up with something I've said, and I've like given that a lot of thought, and I'm just like, God, I hate that word. I hate that word.
Influence?
Yeah, like influencer. I don't know. It sounds so corporate. It's just something.
It's called leadership.
Well, hold on.
It's the art of influence.
I got a better word for it. After thinking about that, and like everything that I do online, now that I've decided that I found my place in all of this, is inspiration. Which I think is a much better word than influencer, and doesn't have the I'm making money on the side from showing off things.
No, yeah, I agree, man. I like that little switch. I like how you did that.
Yeah, it's a much more, the meaning of that is so much more positive. So
isn't that so for you? Isn't that the very important? Is the delivery, even down to the word? Sometimes the word is so important and it gets convoluted by misinterpreted. Why, like you said, influencer, inspirational, or like speaker. Difference. There's a difference.
There absolutely is. Yeah, influencer in my head. The other word I hear attached to that is manipulation. And I don't know why those words have been connected themselves to each other in my head, but there are a lot of things that it's like, I don't know, nails on a chalkboard when I hear them, and I can't describe myself as that.
Oh, manipulation is something you're trying to gain something on it for your own behalf. No,
Yeah.
I don't see that in you.
I'm not gonna say I was always a nice guy. I wasn't, but a lot of things change in life. And I thoroughly enjoy inspiring and making other people smile, honestly. Which is, that's always been there, but it has a lot to do with the people around you.
I got a question.
I mean, you become influenced, or influenced or inspired, if we're gonna make opposites out of them, by the people around you. And that's kind of been the beautiful thing on Twitch is, you attract what you want, whether you want to, or you can attract what you want. Which has been wonderful, finding people in and out of the retro community in this little corner of Twitch, that have absolutely brought out the very best in me. Like Untapped, whatever. God, I totally don't remember where I'm going with this now.
That's
but,
okay.
No, I completely agree though. Like I'm with you on that. There is Twitch for some people has become a great therapy, has become a great community where people can thrive and be themselves and express and
Yes.
and influence, not necessarily influence, but inspire. You know what I mean? People to do other things, and I really love. I love the avenue that Twitch provides for that. So I mean, I don't what go ahead and what your thought was there, but for sure I'm 100% on board with that. With this avenue and what it's done for some people.
A lot of my presence on Twitch has been a lot of reframing things that don't quite hit me right. So, influence and inspiration, that was one of them. Another one is like, I get this sometimes, like, a viewer will be like, I'm so jealous of, your collection or whatever. And I don't want anybody to feel jealous. Jealousy very rarely is a positive thing. Which is another thing that I led into inspiration with. Like, this is a thing that I couldn't have done 5 years ago. This collection back here, most of it's relatively new. Like, I'm in a good place now where I can chase down the dreams I've had for 30 years, right? Technology that I couldn't afford back then. Video games, I only had demos, because my family wasn't like, we weren't buying video games for various reasons. So I just had like demo discs, and I'm just now getting around to all these things. And when I see something like jealousy, like, I remember how it felt for me to be jealous, and so I reframe that. And it basically has come down to, this is a thing that I am very passionate about, and I want you to feel inspired, not jealous, right? Even if, like, collecting big box PC games or vinyl records or Steam library or whatever, if that, just find that thing that makes you happy and fucking chase it. Sorry, I didn't ask if I could use profanity.
I couldn't fucking agree more. So if that helps you out on asking about questions about cursing, I couldn't fucking agree more. Artyom,
I hate fucking swearing.
Yeah, like, that's one thing that we're okay here in this stream for sure. And I mean, I couldn't again I couldn't agree with you more in reference to finding something that you like and enjoying it. And I'm right there with you, man. I never came from a huge wealthy family, but I've done half decent for myself over the years, and I've gotten myself to a place as well where I'm almost 40 years old now, but I still have things, and I'm searching for things that I, not necessarily didn't have, but I may have wanted when I was 12 or 15 years old, and I enjoy retro gaming. I enjoy the nostalgia and that for it, and I will probably chase that till I'm 70, 80, like however long my life is, I will chase that now. I really enjoy it, and I feel wholeheartedly about it, and I completely agree with you, man. Like, it's that changing, the jealousy thing, and I'm sure you're gonna speak about, the positivity side of it, and reframing things so that they have a positive spin. But jealousy, is definitely something that if we could take certain things away from the perspective of a situation, I think jealousy would be great, a great thing to take away for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you let jealousy brew, it's bad. Been there, like it's not good. But yeah, I mean, most of life is about framing things, in a different way to just deal with them. Well, oh God, what was the other thing? I had another thought and then I lost it.
So while you're thinking about that thought, what we're gonna do is Seeky Wisdom we didn't miss that, we seen that Seeky Wisdom, the question, the jar of questions, and we're gonna do that. We'll get into that right now because we don't want that to take off too far. We've got a few other things in chat that we'll get into here as well, but
sure,
we'll give you a chance to kind of collect things while we bombard you with, we've got a random jar of questions here. There's all kinds of random questions in here, all kinds of different things. You don't know what's going to come out of here. Thank you very much for redeeming that, Seeky Wisdom, and we're going to pull our first kind of random question for Artyom Havok. Let's see what we got. Oh,
yes, the answer is... Oh, you haven't asked it yet.
Oh my God. What the first one. The first one. I was hoping for a much easier one, but... this is going to be fun. So the first question that's pulled is an embarrassing moment. ... share with us a moment if you can that is humorous and might have been a little bit embarrassing for you.
You see, Kyle, the thing is I'm perfect, so I'm never embarrassed.
I've never been embarrassed.
Oh God, I've been embarrassed so much. Oh God, I don't even know where to start. Oh, this is tough. This is tough because there's the good embarrassed story, there's the bad embarrassed story.
Hey,
your comfort level. Your comfort level embarrassment story.
Hey, his embarrassment of coming on to Retro Militia and doing this this chat. I'm just trying to ease up the moment here.
That time that you referred to Zelda as Link.
Okay, all right. Here's one. Okay, all right. This is not a story I would normally ever tell. Okay, because I just one of those things I just assume forget.
Yeah.
And it's dumb as hell, and I don't even know what was happening in my ADD riddled mind. Sitting in math class, I had a really good friend who was just kind of he's wore chains on his belt loops, mohawk hair from time to time, just a punk, right?
Yeah.
And he'd act silly, and I thought this guy was so cool, right? My friend. So I try to be like him sometimes. And he'd just do random acts of stupid things or whatever. And just I don't even know where to begin with some of the things he would do. He'd watch Jackass or stuff like that. One day I just felt all right, I'm gonna punk him a little bit. And I don't know why I did this, but I shot up out of my chair while he was up at the chalkboard solving a math problem, and put my boot in his butt. Just kicked his butt and then sat back down, and everybody looked at me why the hell did you do that? I was like, I don't know, actually. So that shit, that one's always haunted me. I have no idea what came over me, but I needed to do something spontaneous. I had a Coca-Cola during lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
I did that thing, and I'm just what the fuck did I just do?
If it seemed good at the time, why not?
Sit, you're already, I don't, what?
Like you said, it's one of those things that you do it, and I mean when you're in that mind frame and when you're younger and spontaneity is something that is very prevalent at those ages, and you're just and then afterwards you sit down and you're like, what?
Oh yeah, God, I'm getting flushed. That one really has been.
Okay, Kyle. Okay, Kyle. What? do we talk about an embarrassing moment here to
Yeah,
even up the
everybody does
score?
it. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure. It's embarrassing moment right now. We can't.
You go
we can't
first.
just-
You want me to go first?
Oh no, you go.
Oh, okay. Okay. So one time at band camp.
You
No.
too?
Same tuba.
No.
Oh, by the way, we don't care around this channel. Yeah. So most embarrassing, or one of the most embarrassing moments, because I've had a lot of my time, I guess, because I'm old and don't give a fuck sometimes.
Same tuba, different day.
What's
Same tuba, different day.
different day. Yeah. Did you use baby vape? I forgot. Anyway. Okay. Fuck, I had it.
On the spot questions are tough. I really froze there.
No, I had it. Oh,
Sure.
okay. Do you have one, or you want me to?
No, go ahead. I got mine. I got mine in the bank.
Well, go ahead, because I actually have forgotten. I have to think.
Oh
again.
wow. Okay, no problem.
Sorry, I did have it.
Okay,
Go
so my most embarrassing story, well, not my most embarrassing story, but one that kind of comes to mind. That's kind of cool and funny and embarrassing at the same time. Those of you that know myself and Jay, you know that we're both members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Jay's a recently retired member, and I'm a current serving member in the Canadian Armed Forces. And I've got a funny story from a field exercise that I was on. So we were in an exercise for quite some time, and when we're on exercise, we don't have like square meals and all that stuff. We have, like IMPs is what they're called, or improvised meals, or bag meals, and they're great, and I can't say enough good things about them. But one thing that they do is if you eat them for an extended period of time, you start to get kind of firmed up, you know what I mean, inside, and your regular mornings are not as regular as what they used to be. So I'm in the field for quite some time, and we've been on rations and whatnot, and then we're building these improvised shelters. So what we're going to do is we're going to build an improvised shelter, and we're going to sleep in the improvised shelter overnight, and just kind of prove that we can build a little shelter if we were ever stuck out in the woods. So we're in the process of doing that. And at that time, we get our first hot delivered meal to the exercise from the kitchen. And that meal, I go and I can smell, we're all standing in the meal line, and you can smell that meal, and you're like, oh my god, I don't have to eat out of an aluminum sack tonight. This is going to be so good. And we get up to the line, and it's chicken stew and buns. And I'm like, oh, it's so good, so good. So I get up, I get my chicken stew and buns, I eat that down, you know what I mean? We're kind of relaxing. And then there's call for seconds, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm having seconds, you know what I mean? Like, I want that hot stew meal. So I go get seconds, new bun, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself, you know what I mean? I'm full and everything's working well. This is winter time. We go back to what we were doing. So we were building these improvised shelters. We go back and we start building those again, and we're sweating and we're taking off layers and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And we're cutting down some branches and moving some logs and stuff like that, doing some fairly hefty work and building up a sweat. And all of a sudden I get like a really super cramp, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need to use the bathroom. So we're out in the woods, there's no bathroom readily available, but what we do have is in our training areas we would have portable toilets kind of situated all over the place, and I look, and the closest portable toilet to where we are situated is a good half a click up the road.
Jesus.
So I'm like, okay, I need to use the bathroom right now, and I've got at least half a click walk to get to the bathroom. So keep in mind we're on an exercise, so I'm full gear. I've got snowsuit kind of on, I've got some of my military kit on, I've got my weapon, helmet, all kinds of I'm bombed up, ready to go. So I've already got too many zippers and too much stuff on me as it is, and I'm walking, and I get out and I get to the road, and I'm like, okay, I start walking. And at this point it's wintertime, so like I mentioned earlier, and we've had some mild days and moderate days, and the road has gotten kind of a sheen over it at this point. and I'm walking and you know I can see the portable toilet in sight, and my stomach is just cramping, and I'm like, oh yes, awesome. And I start in, and there's a little turn in the road just before the rocket, and it just so happens that when I get close enough to the rocket or to the portable toilet, that I slip on the ice. So I slipped on the ice. I couldn't hold it back. I completely soiled myself at that point. I got up. I was like, oh my god. Like I said, I have all my gear on. I've got probably 10 zippers, layer upon layer of clothing on. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's done now. I get into the green rocket or into the portable toilet, and I'm like, you know what? What do I do? I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm going, what do I do now? Like, do I go back? Like, how do I sort this problem? How do I fix this so that I am somewhat can be less embarrassed and and hold a little bit of self-pride? So what I start doing, I start taking everything off, and I throw it all down in the portable toilet. I'm like, yep, that's not coming back with me. This is not coming back with me. That's not coming back with me. I start throwing it all down in the portable toilet. And then I come out of the portable toilet, and I like have probably a quarter of my gear on, and I'm walking back, and I have barely, I don't have, my pants on, and shirt, and like stuff like that. And then we're in the winter outside, and I get back to my site, and I go back, and then one of our supervisors comes over, and he goes, Lucas, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, how come you don't have clothes on? Like, where's your shirt? Where's your? I'm like, you know what? It's a long story. Don't ask. It's a long story. Don't ask, don't tell. Anyway, and then he at that time he's like, he kind of takes me, and he's like, are you all right? And he's kind of talking to me, and I'm like, no, actually, I'm not all right. And he takes me out, and I go back and I get new kid and get freshened up and all that stuff. But that's my most embarrassing story. The time when I almost made it to the portable toilet after having chicken stew after eating hard rations for a week.
Man,
You're a rookie. You fucking should know better. You should know better.
I wish I could have seen. I wish there was a video of me now, because I was walking down this road with my ass cheeks clenched so tight, like, and just trying not to make as little movement as possible and get to that rocket. And
You're like it's typical. That's typical. You see
like
that?
there's a GI joke here.
Yeah, you're an FNG for that. Like, you should know better. Like, anyway, so
I should have.
I would go AWOL, says Grimlock.
Yeah, I seen that, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. I would too. I'd be like, fuck this. End X, I'm leaving. So
walked out of the field, walked right home.
Like,
what happened to Kyle? What happened to Kyle? Kyle's gone. He said, fuck this, he's gone.
All right, so I'm gonna keep. I got an embarrassing moment, but I will keep it short. So we're not imposing on Kyle, because that was a fucking long ass story there, Kyle.
I know. I wanted to make it smaller, but I was like, fuck, how do I make it smaller?
Oh my god, Newfoundlanders!
I shit my pants once.
Dragging out a story. Yes, bye. Okay, so I started my military career. I was a vehicle tech, and I was doing my OJT, so all the job training, and doing rotations through units. And I get to one unit at RCJ, the Royal Canadian Horse Artillery, and doing my typical thing, twisting wrenches, going home, blah blah blah. So one day, at the end of the day, the lockers where we hold our uniforms were upstairs, and I'm like, okay, doing my thing, and all I hear is, "Hey, Jay!" I'm like, what? I look, and all of a sudden, bam! I'm on the ground, and I'm like, glasses are all fucked up, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And all I see is my buddy Ron. He comes up, Jay, you okay? Are you okay? I said, yeah. What the fuck just happened? I said, what'd you throw at me? He goes, threw a steel timbit. I didn't know you're that fucking weak. I was like, I was knocked out by a fucking steel timbit. So a timbit's like a small donut for those non-Canadian folk. Just a donut, and it got me right square in the fucking bridge of the nose,
no,
right in the eyes, and just dropped me like a sack of potatoes. It's not as funny as yours, but I can't work it up here, man. Like, geez.
I think mine was better. I think mine was better.
Yeah. Well, I had to sum it up. You took up
you
all
got,
the time.
You got taken out by a Timbit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Own up to that.
I did. I just did. Anyway.
We worked at an automotive shop. I worked in Virginia Beach. We worked long hours. God, that was bad job. But I was working on this one car over in one corner of the shop all by myself. There was nobody else in that part of the building, and I was doing something under the dashboard. And you know, you know how it is when you're in a car. You put your hand places to kind of push yourself around. Put my hand under the seat and toggled on a cattle prod that this fucker had under the seat.
Wow.
Yeah. So 15 minutes later, nobody knew.
You're in a weird predicament as it is, working underneath a dash somewhere. I'm sure, like any kind of mechanics works.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure my legs out the door.
Right? Like, you know. Oh wow. That's.
I mean, it took me a while to be like, okay, well, you know, my nose has just been smashed up against the floorboard of this thing. Like, there's something weird, something missing. I didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I saw that under there, and I'm like, oh, whoa. Okay, sorry. That was
That's awesome.
There's a lot of embarrassing moments, especially being in the military. Everyone makes sure that you it's highlighted in your time in your career. I haven't too many to count, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Yeah. So we're going back to what you wanted to talk about originally. That was one of those. That was a redemption. I think that Seeky Wisdom had redeemed. Thank you for that, Seeky Wisdom. Now we got to get back to the serious stuff here.
Yeah, we got to get back to the cold, hard cutting information here. So
we were talking about difference between being influencer and inspirational, and how even that word, the differences in that word and the meaning to you, was the one thing we were talking about, and how you want to be more of an inspirational person.
Sure. I mean, I can just go through like kind of a list as it comes to me about the things that I do on my particular channel to, you know, make it the most, you know, inviting, welcoming, and happy place that.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Let's go with that. Artyom, tell us about your channel, about your community. What you know, what do you aim to achieve at your channel? You know, what's the goal in the end state over there?
Yeah. Okay. Yay.
Yeah.
I am at a place in Twitch right now where I go to sleep excited about streaming. I wake up more excited than I was when I went to sleep. Like every day, it's like I get to get on here and play video games with like the best people that I have ever met, and you know, it's a growing thing, right? Like, you know, the numbers steady and they go up, and I get the opportunity to get to know everybody, you know, really well without, you know, that blow up moment or whatever, or pop off, whatever the kids say these days.
Yeah.
Which has been fantastic. You know, and we've had things like the jealousy thing came up once or twice, so I've kind of reframed that, you know, and, you know, mentioned to Chad as like, yeah, let's stay away from this word. And I'm not trying to be like, we need to like cancel off these words or whatever. But, you know, as far as like my, you know, the way I talk to chat and the way I frame things. So there was that one. I no longer, so I have alerts like raids. I've built my entire like presence on Twitch around the idea of how great raids are. If some of you have heard of save and raid, like it's a thing. Like that is some shit that defines me at this point. But you know, some people, yeah, there you go. Some people like won't raid if they've only got like 1 or 2 people in there. Like I never want anybody that has chosen to raid my channel to feel like, you know, they're getting called out for having a small raid or feel embarrassed or whatever. So like I toggled off that number. It does not display on my stream. And I always thank everybody for bringing their friends. You know, like if I wanted to, I could look and see how many it was, but I'll never announce that number, even if it's a huge raid. Raid, you know, one person, 40, 50 people, I will not call out that number now. Because I don't want anybody that comes to my channel to feel insignificant or shitty. Like, you know what I mean?
That's an awesome concept, man. I never thought about that. We're definitely having to talk to you about this afterwards, because I would also like to toggle off that number and create that presence of inclusivity, no matter how many people you're streaming with.
Yeah, and long before save and raid, like I made a promise to myself, because you sometimes you get in the habit of just like, all right, I'm done, leaving, right? And I just promised myself I will raid every stream, always find somebody to raid. That's one of the biggest parts of being in a Twitch community with other streamers and viewers. And I struggle sometimes rating somebody new. Even though I'll like sit in a channel and like, anybody got suggestions? Like, me. But the channels that I raid, I always like to check them out first. I want to know where I'm sending my friends, right? When you go along with the raid, I guess there's a certain amount of implied trust. That you're not gonna.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah. So my rules are always raid and never give the opportunity really for anybody to feel like they're insignificant when they have trusted you to bring their people to, right? So that's that circle.
No, that's awesome, man. I completely I support that. Yeah, I agree with that 110%, and I support that, and I'd like to do that as well here. I mean, I love Twitch and its ability to bring people together, and if you can stop anybody from feeling insignificant or allowing people, like we in our channel we're all about our community and building our community and having a great community and a great chat that people can come to and shoot the shit and feel welcome and enjoy video games, and it's the main focus for Retro Militia is the community itself. That is the Retro Militia. We don't consider ourselves to be like Kyle and Jay, the streamers. We consider it to be the Retro Militia as a whole. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, and I really do think of everybody that comes to watch my channel. I mean, these are my friends. These are the best friends that I've. It's not that I think of them; they just are.
Yeah.
These are the friends that I've wanted to have my entire life. The ones that come here because I'm me, and want to hang out. And I don't even know how to express how good that feels. Like, finally.
Yeah, having people with a genuine interest.
Yes. And whether they sought out me for content or stuck around after a raid, like I mean, my viewers are definitely not numbers, and they are a community, just like you guys. Which is, I've rebranded everything on my stream to be like, has become a friend, has brought friends, like
I've seen love,
that. Yeah. I just like dawned on me one night. And I'm trying to think of like other examples of positivity in my stream. There's just so many that have like come in little things that none of the stuff that well, that's not true. I'd say the majority of things in the positivity have not been like this big epiphany. They've just kind of gradually, taken over or reframed various things. Also, I'm gonna pat somebody on the head. Here you
go. That's awesome.
So, for us, I know for Rock and Socken is kind of like our pivotal redemption, and there's a reason for that. Is it's for it's the interaction for people. It allows us to allow people to have fun on it, and also allow us to give back to the community by giving a free game giveaway. But we were having a challenging moment where we were trying to make sure that it was distributed fair, and I think we've gotten to that point. But we had to constantly communicate between each other and feedback between Kyle and myself and the community. I think we're at the point now that we have it where we wanted, and that's you're going to get it wrong. Let's face it. When you're streaming, when you're doing stuff in life, and you're learning, you're going to get it wrong. But be honest with your community. Be honest with yourself, and just grow from it. And just say, hey, this is what our intention was. we will honor whatever that tonight's stream, but we're gonna change these rules because this is how we want to see it happen. So, anyways, that was just one thing. I know that's a burning thing for us, and I don't know. I see that you've been toying with different things and trying to not necessarily get more viewers in, but to better allow more quality, like for the people that are in to have a better quality experience in your chat and feeling a part of the community.
Yes.
Or correct me if I'm wrong.
No, the interactivity while I'm streaming, whether it's with me or it's something in OBS, that's very important to me. I feel like, because you can sit there and say what you want to say and play the video game the way you're gonna play it, and I know I try things very quickly, right? I have an idea, I try to enact it very quickly. I don't always finish them, but they're usually there. So, when I had the idea to, I will get to this. I also I don't have a co-streamer with me to bounce ideas off of. Like I've got my moderators and we've got our secret moderation channel, and I usually like share an idea and be like, all right, stop me if this is bad, and then I don't listen to them.
So I'm gonna put it out there, like for us. I think I talked to Kyle. Sorry. This is where I try to learn how to direct. We're okay, and I'm sure a lot of streamers that I know within our small community so far would be okay to do it on live stream, and this will give not only a voice for every streamer, but also allow viewers to have a voice too, to feel that they are the buy-in, as we used to call it in the military, to say, hey, I'm influencing the stream that I'd love to go into. So the buy-in is such a great power, and you're empowering your own viewers to say, hey, this is what we like to see. And that's what happened with Rock and Sock'em. Someone say, hey, would it be awesome if you could do this? I'm like, well, let's try it. And that's how that was started. With the challenges obviously within my own abilities and Kyle's abilities and how to do it and stuff in time. But I know we would do it, and I know Kyle would too, is like bounce our ideas with other people and see, hey, what do you think of this? And I'm okay with doing it on a live stream sometimes, or even on a Discord channel. But I would prefer to talk like this rather than typing, because one thing you said was the word about jealousy. I said, I know you're not going to take it. I know you didn't mean it this way, but when you said you don't want people to be jealous, the thing is the content was lost. The body posture was lost. They could have been saying, hey, I'm so jealous of your stuff, right? Or
yes.
I'm jealous of your stuff. Like, it's the tone and the body posture that through text of your viewers sometimes gets lost, and they were just trying to joke and you may have misunderstood, or they were trying to totally be serious, right?
When it's text, all I can do is project how I think that feels.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, you were right what you did. This leads
me to like a very important thing, and it's pretty much, it's a quote from Robin Williams. Like, I fucking know what it feels like to be sad and unhappy.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to feel like that. I never want to be the reason somebody feels like that. I mean, people are going to be unhappy and sad. That's, it's part of life. We are all going to be that way.
It's an emotion.
But I never want to be the cause of that. In this program.
No,
awesome.
I'll tell you right now, I enjoy coming, and I come back and forth to your channel. I may not be able to stay long, and I'm not going to apologize for that, but it's just time and my life. But I will come to your channel time and time again, because you guys are welcoming. You brought your community, Seeky Wisdom, Matt Glad, and Matt Glad's got a question there for us. And the more I'm on this, I'll tell you, Twitch is kind of like the military. The longer you're in, the smaller it gets. The more people you know. Yeah, because the more people you know, they like. So, hold on. Let me.
Okay.
So what I mean. So no. So you get to, you'll the audience and the amount of streamers grow larger, but the people that you keep going back to and you start talking to, you start realizing, hey, I've seen this name, I've seen this name, I've seen this name, because they have the same personalities, they have the same interests, they keep showing up in the same channels. It becomes you realize that community is actually not as like Twitch is not this, because you're not in every channel, you're in this because these are your interests.
And I think I think also, Jay, how you're like, how you're kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but how you're kind of explaining it is, when you go out into the world the first time, and the world seems like a very big place, right?
Yeah.
And then once you're out in the world for a little bit, you realize, yes, the world is a big place, but it doesn't, the feeling of it being ginormous is kind of something that, it kind of, you get used to your surroundings, you get used to Twitch, you get used to the communities, and it doesn't have that big, overwhelming feeling to it, I think.
Yes, you are correct. Like, it is. It's like I got this big world, and then I start finding interests, and I start finding people that have the same interests. It's just, yeah. So yeah. Anyways, I'm ranting. I apologize, but I love coming back. I love coming to your stream. I love coming to certain other streamers' streams because it's welcoming. It allows me to be myself. There's no bitterness. There's no like. It's an adult conversation. You can have fun. People are not taking it too offense.
And I get that too, Artyom. That whole wanting everybody to feel included and not wanting to be the cause, of anybody is sadness or anybody's feeling bad. I would never want that as well. I completely agree with you there. And that's the nice thing about these Twitch communities that we build, and how we include the viewers, how we include the other Twitch streamers that have common interests in ours and come to our streams and we go to theirs, how we're able to interact with them. Like, for one of the things that we did right off the bat, yes, we have the Rock'em Sock'em, but I mean, one of the other things that we do is we wholeheartedly welcome backseating in our channel. Like, we want our viewers to feel like they're playing the game with us, almost like when you were younger and you were sitting on the couch and you were talking with your buddy, like, oh no, you need to go here, man, first, or you don't forget about this, or like, we want that whole feeling of everybody playing together, and I think you do a really good job of that in your channel, and for that I congratulate you for sure. Let's have a little look at, I see Matt Glad here dropped a little question for us in chat.
Hang on one second. I just want to go back to the backseating. Backseating is tricky.
Okay.
It really is.
Absolutely.
You guys have probably read the description on my Discord. Like, yes, it is that, the Discord and my channel, I want it to feel like, you're going to your, bunch of friends are going to sleep over at one dude's house. Everybody's bringing their favorite console and game, and a bunch of people are going to see games for the first time, so it's pizza, sofas, pillow forts, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, backseating is an essential part of that. There has to be exceptions to that, because I also sometimes want to see things, and fail on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a rule on backseating, because it hasn't been a real issue yet.
Okay.
And God, most of my everything in my channel, like right now, it's everything goes. Don't be the reason I need to make a rule. We will revisit all of these non-rules at some point if we have to, right?
Yes, yes. I think I've actually heard you say that once.
Yeah, backseating, dropping links in chat. These are things. If there's an issue, we'll figure it out. I have not had those issues, thank God. And I dread the day that they'll happen, but that's.
I think we bring the audience that we earned.
I agree, and I think we're in the same boat as you as well, Artyom. We haven't been in a situation where backseating has become inconvenient or where backseating has ruined anything for us yet. So you're absolutely right. We wholeheartedly welcome the backseating, and exactly like you stated. You know, let's not be a reason. Don't be a reason I have to make a rule. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think we haven't come across a situation yet where a backseater has come in and ruined anything for us. You know what I mean? Or been too much. You know what I mean? Where you're like, okay, like we'd also like to experience a little bit of the game ourselves, right?
I also feel like my chat, the members that have been around for a couple weeks, like I feel like they understand that there is a point where the tips will be are going to be welcomed.
Yes.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I think they have figured out how I play games, and it's like I'm gonna fail for a little bit, and then they have done a really good job of being like, hey, try this, and I feel very fortunate in that it's not, instantly you need to do this right now, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of easing into, the back seating. We're not saying, listen, turn left, turn right, open that treasure box. Like, as opposed to, like, have you tried, maybe looking in this area or, definitely, putting your toes in the water first and saying, hey,
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin this for you, but I see, and you're right, your viewers get a feel for how you play games and they know when you're stuck and maybe a little frustrated and going, I want to progress, because ultimately what leads to a good stream is progressing in the challenges throughout the game and having fun with it, and if let's be honest, if we're going to have a full stream of trying to figure out how to do one thing, you know what I mean, or we get stuck at that one thing, that very quickly becomes monotonous, and for that the community is amazing, and I'm glad you have that same kind of community with you guys. That
Only my mods want to see me struggle.
Same.
Ditto.
I think Jay's the only Jay loves. loves
Sometimes.
Jay loves this.
I just want you to get through RPGs.
Yeah, Jay. And for those of you that don't know, Jay's a huge fan of random encounter games. So all the Final Fantasies and those random encounter games, he really, really, really enjoys those.
Matt Glad brought up a good point. Like Fractal Mind Mike, he has a hint on and off marker indicator, and I love giving the those hints that are not obvious. You try to give a very subtle hint to kind of just ease the flow of the mind of the streamer. I find that's entertaining because he's trying to interpret what you're trying to say. It's fun.
Dr. CDCS has like a whole HintCon level system.
That's kind of
it's hard. It's hard when you really love video games and somebody's playing a video game that you really like and you have information and like you're bursting at the seams. You want to share it. It just doesn't doesn't come across to the streamer that way sometimes.
No, completely.
But I really liked how he did the he was playing what was it? My mind is, I can't remember now. Sorry, Artyom, go ahead. My apologies.
That's all right. I didn't really have anything else to add to that. Just that, so, and as my channel grows, I'm sure this will be a problem more. And it's also like another thing that I think is helping that is that the growth is slow. It's like
it's organic.
It is, and it's like 1-2 new people a day. Yep. Like it's not huge. I think that and man, thank God for the retro tag, because sometimes when you use a game tag and people are looking to help people play their favorite game.
Yeah.
I heard horror stories about that with Undertale, people, coming in and ruining somebody experiencing it for the first time or judging their, choices or whatever.
Their gameplay.
I'm wary of that. And that's one of the things that I use, one of the reasons I use the retro tag so much is because people are going to be looking for somebody playing a retro game, not being like, I need you to find all the secrets in Doom.
Whoa.
Or why did you build your rogue this way in Diablo?
I mean, hey, thanks for the subscription.
Oh, wow. Matt Glad, thank you very much for that sub, buddy. Thank you very much for coming in and hanging out, asking questions, and thanks for that sub.
We should look at his question.
Let's do that.
So I Retro Militia, for everyone, How do you maintain momentum on days where you just don't want to do it?
I'll let you guys go first.
So we here, and I think like I'll speak for kind of us as a team stream here. We are very cautious about burnout, and we're very cautious about the amount of stream that we do. It was one thing that we want to maintain the ability to stream effectively and enjoy streaming. We never ever wanted to get to a point where we were like, oh my god, we're streaming tonight, like you know what I mean, like we never wanted to feel like a job or a chore, and for that reason we've guarded our stream, we've guarded our times. This is something that we do in enjoyment and that we have fun doing. Don't get me wrong. There's times when we are sitting programming or figuring something out, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're going, "Oh my god, are you serious?" Like, but it's a labor of love. I feel like it's very much a labor of love and something that we enjoy doing. So for that reason, and for the reason that we very closely monitor each other about are we feeling burnt out? Are we pushing? Oh,
Boy, I can't believe you're actually sharing your
Seeky
screen.
Wisdom.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for the host. Thanks for the
Yeah,
host.
thank you so much.
Yeah. So I mean, for that, I mean, for us, it's something that we enjoy doing. It's a labor of love for us, and we very closely monitor our enthusiasm about it, and we're able to maintain motivation in doing it. And we haven't had really moments where we're like, oh, I really like dreading streaming or not wanting to stream. I think we've been really good with that, and we we're able to. We've had times when we recognize in each other, and we're like, so how are you feeling tonight? You know what I mean? And maybe there's something happening in life or whatever, and we talk several times during the week, not only when we stream, and we know that we always make sure to ask with each other and check in with each other and be like, okay, well, what, how you feeling? Like, do you want to stream on Wednesday, or do you want to stream on Monday? And if ever there was a time when Jay was like, I don't want to, or I was like, what, I got this on the go or whatever, I really, I've something else has kind of popped up in life. It's never it never feels like a job. We want to do it for fun, and we guard that that community and that fun and that enthusiasm. And for that reason, we haven't experienced, or we don't experience days when the momentum goes down. Really, to be honest with you, with that if that answers the question from a retro militia standpoint, we were pretty consistent when it comes to
Yep.
our motivation levels.
Yeah, for most, like for me, I get a lot of motivation and momentum improving the stream, graphics, the background stuff, and it creates a lot of hours for me. However, having those 5-10 seconds and it shows up, I'm like, it's so fun. Look at that. That's awesome. I'm such a geek when it comes to that. Like, and then you got to find the niche or find your passion in essence and do it right. Like, if it's like for me, I like watching Kyle and I like doing the background stuff. Kyle likes doing the streaming. It's a perfect relationship in the sense of for streaming.
I struggled at the very beginning, 2020 January to May maybe. Like I had days where I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't want to do this. I had 0 viewers at some point. Sean Beanland came almost every stream. I had one person to talk to, and that made it good. That's the only thing that kept me going. And then I had 2 viewers. And then I was like, I want more from this. Like, I started putting work into it, and memes and things that those two guys could interact with, so that it was more fun. And they did. They interacted with it more, and they gave me more of a hard time, and whatever. And then I was like, looking at what is it going to take to be affiliate. 3 average viewers. with entire months of not 3. So I worked and pushed very hard. I will get to the question.
Yeah, that's fine.
I pushed very hard in July. I wanted to be affiliate, and I knew like it would take, where I was 6 months to build up to the level of getting my first payout, right? So it was just like I have to prove that I can do this to myself, or do this for myself. And I got it in a month. A couple people sat in on streams, and the kind of the laws of viewers is you hit that magic number of 3 to 5, and people are going to start clicking on it in the search. Somebody's watching this, right? It's not not like an idle computer. There's people that are here. I want to see what's going on.
Yes.
And breaking that point is a tipping point, I think, for most streamers that I've run across. And that's the point you can become an affiliate, and that's the point where growth starts to happen. Since I broke 5 average viewers, I don't feel demotivated at all. That was my goal. I was like, if I can do this, then I can do it all. And there's just nothing's gonna stop me, right? So the only thing that keeps me from streaming is my health. I got a really fucked up spine that gets in the way of almost everything in my life, and that sucks. That, and with the 115 degrees Fahrenheit that we experience, like, those are the only things that have kept me from streaming since last June, July. I do this. I wake up at 9 to 10 a.m. and I work on stream stuff until about 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, this is what I do. I don't feel demotivated ever by it. Like, all of my motivations, and that's not just like I only stream certain hours. Like, my main show is very small. It's 1 to 3 hours long, but I am here doing work and in the community, building community. And that is a ton of work, and I love every second of it. There's just I mean, I do spend time with my wife, of course, but. I don't know. I only feel hype and motivation for this. I know I've stopped smiling because I was thinking really hard about how to answer that, but
you're trying to answer it because important as perfect as possible because it's very dear to your heart.
Yeah.
I could see it. So, and I know that you're time and time again.
Wife says, She's loved this because I'm not bugging her, and she gets to play all my PlayStation games.
There we go.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, because otherwise I'd be like, let's binge this show. I have not really. I've watched 2 or 3 movies in 2021. We're not binging TV shows. I really am here.
Yeah. You know what?
Continue.
I just want to let you know, for Kyle and I, when we talk about burnout, it's for us. Knowing your level of commitment to doing this and stuff, if you are able to maintain that level and you enjoy it, go for it. You have that passion, that's great. I don't want to say that you're gonna burn out, but
of course I'm not trying to minimize how you guys approach streaming at all.
No, I know you're not. But I just wanted to make sure you were understanding that. That's because we mentioned.
I know what burnout is.
Yeah.
No. I know.
God.
I just meant our opinion about burnout is what I meant. I just want to clarify that.
So I did. I'll just run through my jobs and give you. I had this. All right, fell in love with cars. Right, I wanted to be a mechanic so bad. I went to school for automotive technology, and what was the lesson I learned there was never turn something you love into something that makes money. This is the worst advice I've ever said out loud to anybody or told myself. I really believe that to be true because I kept trying and failing at things, including streaming in 2014. and like I didn't fail at being in a band. Like we were working on our second album. Breakup happens. That's that isn't really a reflection on me. It's the group.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yep.
But you get really hard on yourself when you fail. In 2008, I had to switch careers because 2008 happened. I was an automotive technician when the collapse happened. The shop that I was working at, a GM dealership, right? They were in the middle of like redesigning because everything was so great, and they fired half of us.
Wow.
Just like that. Right as the collapse happened, so they could continue the upgrades and have a skeleton crew. I'm blaming them a little bit, but like the whole situation sucked for everybody. I started working on I worked for this horribly racist asshole for about 3 months. I couldn't do it there. Like I was working on go-karts and trailers. Fucking trailers. Like this was
yeah.
I mean, it kept downgrading. Like I had a very good automotive job. Like I did my work. Nothing came back broken. Like I was really into it and doing things right. The cars that I fixed, they never fucking came back. There are a lot of people in the shop, you have these cars that come back and it's like, oh, you didn't fix it. Like I knew my shit, and I'm proud of all the work I did there. But I had to leave that. I really hit a low spot there with. I'm really gonna drag the story out. You're welcome.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
It's okay.
I mean, I was, I got divorced, like the same week that fucking GM fired half of everybody.
Yeah.
Shit was bad in 2008. And so I made like a switch there, because obviously like this isn't what I can do. Like all my tools got repoed, money was shit. I met my current wife that same year, and she was a huge source of like positivity and inspiration for me. But she's like, why don't you look into helping people? Or I don't even know how I got on that exactly. Maybe that wasn't her. Maybe it was something in my mind. It was that whole like everything sucks for me. How do I make somebody else feel better, right? And if I make somebody else feel better, I'll feel better.
Yeah.
And I kind of got into mental health. I got into mental health. I was working with at-risk youth in a group home setting, and everywhere that I've ever worked since then has always been these are the worst of the worst, the most dangerous. These are. I think I pushed you to look outside of mechanics. Yeah, you did. Apple. Apple's my wife, by the way.
Like an apple.
Yeah, like an Apple's my wife.
Awesome.
So I started doing this, and it wasn't the right job for me. I did it for four-ish years, and also like my spine injury happened during all of that. Like, it was a weird job. It was extremely stressful. Some of my clients were absolute sexual predators, but they were like 15. And like their parents gave up on them. Like it was a tough job. And we were trained to do restraints when they acted up, and they did. They acted up. Oh my god. The restraints we were trained to do was to not leave bruises. If we left a bruise on a client, there was nothing to protect us from the job.
Yeah.
They would throw you under the fucking bus. Like it wasn't the right job for me.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of that whole thing. And I was working with, I was just out of college too. Like I was probably 25. And I was working with people that were in college, and they're like, oh, we're going to get to beat up on, these kids when they act up. And it's just like, it was all wrong.
That's a warning sign right there.
What's that?
That's a warning sign right there. You want to beat people up, like even in the military, it's not like that to me is a warning sign.
I am sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about, having been in the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. There is a personality type that comes into these jobs like Billy Badass.
I think that's why I love this community. And I love coming back to your channel, and why I guess why my motivation to be out in the Savor Raid is because the close proximity to mental health for myself and for Kyle. How it spoke to me when I seen the Saving Raid, and it was just Um, yeah, I was just like, I need to help. I need to be doing this to help out. Or not just raise money, but raise awareness. Is
Well,
what
yeah,
I
and
need to do.
I feel like pretty much the rest of the conversation that I'm going to have tonight is going to be about mental health and
That's okay.
building a healthy community, because this is something that I found, and there were a lot of things that influenced it. So I did that job, and I started reading a couple books. Like some of the things that were great about this job was I do overnight shifts. I get to basically sleep next to the door, make sure they didn't jump out the window or leave. So I had a laptop. I played video games. I got paid $10 an hour to play video games all night long. Those were the less stressful shifts. Like that's great.
I get paid.
Yeah, yeah. I got a gaming laptop, and it was great. It really was. So I do that. Those were some of my shifts. I do day shifts. We go on outings. Um, the police knew who this. I'm not gonna say the company's name.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Police knew who we were. When we had to restrain somebody in the middle of a Walmart, you could be like, I work for this company. Because I think that company actually exists. Yeah, I think that there was community recognition for the place I worked. I got stuck with a client that was really, really, really tough to work with. After my back injury, he bolted on the whole thing, and I chased him across the 6-lane highway. And I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I started looking for something else. I did a little bit of work at a JCPenney portrait studio after that. They were also trying to that company was trying to kick me off of their healthcare because I became a super user with my spine injury. It was kind of rough.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna head off. G-Force, thanks for being here. It's good to see you.
Yeah, buddy.
And I didn't quite find the right thing, and then we decided that we were gonna leave Fargo, North Dakota, and we were gonna move out to the West Coast, just get out of that. I mean, it's not where I wanted to be. Like that's the place my ex-wife stranded me. You get 2 months of not blizzard.
Yeah.
It sucks there. It sucks so bad. Why are people there? And I had applied for a job at. I'm gonna name drop this one. The Gladys Ray Shelter. It is a homeless shelter. I had applied for the job, looking for stuff, trying to, make money. Money got real tight again, trying to find someplace new. And as we were, in Seattle being like, yes, this side of the country is our home, I got a call and got hired there. And I took the job because I wanted to work for the city of Fargo and do this. And the people I worked for, I may never have a job that important again.
Oh.
I'm gonna tear up a little bit.
Oh, man. That's cool.
They described me as an absolute rock star there. I mean, I thrived. They did things there They did things there these weren't clients. These weren't numbers. They were guests. They did things that used invitation to make people feel welcome. So, in these transitions in my jobs, I've picked up on these things that, make people feel good. And that was a huge one. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking start bawling here.
That's okay.
This is probably one of the most important jobs I've ever had, and and there was budget constraints, and I got worked really hard there. Overworked. We all got overworked. And for that part, I'm glad that there was an end in sight. I hated hiding that I was going to be moving. But we hit a certain point where we put in an offer on a house, and I was like, this is the thing I'm doing. I'm sorry. But I mean, I had the skills of de-escalation from the previous job. We had training.
Yeah.
And I was able to bring that there. That not a lot of the coworkers there, had that kind of training. But I was able to de-escalate. Fights happen, man. middle of the night, somebody snores too loud. Like, it can be a simple thing, and like, you've got these guests that are at each other's throat. So quick on your toes, and de-escalating, and inviting them to be like, hey, it sucks outside right now. Let's figure out how we can do this together, and have you guys work this out. And I defuse some really hostile situations that I take great pride in, because they looked hopeless, right? And the procedure was kick them out the door, if you had to. And
It's a process. You're
is.
processing someone just to go through a system that's failing them sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get to that too.
No.
So that was the best job that I did for somebody else. That wasn't the streaming self-employed thing. And I miss it every day. The Gladys Ray Shelter is an absolutely wonderful building. The lady Jan that runs it, I mean, she is an absolute rock star. And all the people that work there were fantastic.
They're heroes. They're heroes.
They are heroes. Yes, they're heroes.
They don't get the recognition and let's face it, like soldiers and other people. These are the heroes that hold up society that no one ever sees. Unfortunately.
Jan, the day she hired me, and I guess I don't really know. Like, I interview pretty well sometimes. Like, I don't know exactly why she hired me. It was probably my experience with the other company, the other outfit. But the thing she told me as she hired me, she said, "This is a thankless job. No one here is ever, they're never gonna say, you're doing amazing work." She was wrong. They actually did.
Oh.
They actually did. When you're meeting a basic need, people are fucking grateful, and when you show compassion, they're happy to be around you, and when you show them the value that they have, they're gonna let you know. I mean, but I will get to unconditional positive regard, but even the people that you have a positive rapport is the word with, they can have bad days.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You cannot
100%.
hold that against them, though, especially like in a professional setting like that. You can't have a grudge. But I mean, she was wrong, I think, and I felt appreciated there. I won't name drop this next place. So we moved here, and I worked in a controversial experimental apartment complex that housed formerly homeless, still actively using, severely mentally ill, a place where people that didn't have rental history because of chronic homelessness could build actual rental history. Like, it was experimental, right? It was like they went through an extreme amount of provisional paperwork to give these people rental history that they could apply into Section 8 or you just to be off the street.
Yeah.
The failure rate there was insane. And there was no appreciation for the job I had there. Not really. There were a few people. There were a few people that that I connected with really, really hard. And it really is turn the other cheek when you're dealing with people that are actively using meth and heroin. The amount of violence I saw there, theft. I think a thief is the worst thing anybody could ever be, honestly. Like, I've categorized things that, is basically essentially stealing things from other people as just being thieves. And it's bad. I've had to testify against this one guy that went to one of my residents with a hammer. I've never seen such an ungrateful. It was bad, and being lied to constantly. I got burnt out. I did that for 4 or 5 years again. I spent 10 years in the mental health and homeless, drug abuse. That was the other thing about the Gladys Ray shelter. You couldn't drink in the shelter. It was not a wet shelter, but we would take people that were drunk up to a certain point, and we were built into the building with the city detox.
Oh.
We didn't turn people away You know, and they were always like, you know, yeah, I'm too drunk. You give them the breathalyzer, and like we knew like certain people, they hit this certain number, they couldn't stay with us that night, and we just walk them down the hall, past the laundry bin, into the building that was the city detox, you know, and they got Gatorade and bologna sandwich, and they were out the door the next morning. You know, they weren't getting tickets, they weren't sleeping outdoors in Fargo, fucking North Dakota. It was such a beautiful system, you know.
Sounds really awesome.
That was kind of the thing. Is like the strong rapport you get with the people there when you're like, all right, I'm sorry, you can't stay in this part of the building, and they're like, okay, you know, I'll name drop myself. They're just like, you know, Maddie, you've always been cool. I understand. And we just, you know, walk down the hall, and like it didn't always happen that way, but the times that it did, it's like I am exactly where I need to be, you know.
That's awesome.
You know, so back at this other job, I burn out. I burn out hard because that one was thankless. I had a very toxic coworker that was out to get everybody, and that shit, when you're around toxicity like that, or just a generally super jaded approach to life, and I'm just like, why are you here? And you watch them go after other coworkers that they just have like a little tough with. And like, yeah, I lost it there. And so that was when I left that job. And I'm glad I did, because the tents that have started popping up across the street, like literally the fucking next week, one of those tents was full of rifles and handguns. And these were the people that I wouldn't, you know, had to keep out of the building. Like our people that lived there were allowed to have guests. And the people they'd bring in would be the goddamn drug dealers, right?
Oh, wow.
You know, and some of these people, they were packing firearms, and we didn't know. Like, you know, seeing whose stuff got raided a week after I left that job, you know, I mean, these were people that I'd be like, no, you can't be here, and bar them from the door.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I mean, as far as I know, nobody's gotten shot down there, but that threat was very real. And
very possible. Yeah, very possible.
And yeah. So like you learn things, and you learn about people, and you learn about these terrible traits. And I spent, you know, went like this very fucking roller coaster. So after that job, oh my God, I became so reclusive. So that was 2014. I haven't been employed since then, and I needed time to work on myself because I gave up on people again. It's like, you know. But, you know, it came around, and I'm kind of like taking all of the best things that I've done and figuring out how to apply them here. And that, you know, the thing that stands 2017. Yeah, sorry, we moved here in 2013. I don't know why that date popped in.
She's got the timer.
So it hasn't been that long. I mean, that's quite a bit. That's, you know, 4 years.
Yeah.
Or 3 years at the time. And I just, yeah. So, you know, and you could say something, you know, as, you know, simple as, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated. Like, it really is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you value someone, you're going to get that back. You know? So that brings me to another thing that I ran across recently. And this came from, I'm not going to get into this too much, but this came with kind of the rules in my channel about how moderation works, or I think it should work. And, you know, and a lot of social justice issues. All right, we're going to get into social justice just a little bit, if that's okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, great. You never know. Some people hear that word and they're like, you know. And
all right, I'm out of here. I'm fucking out of here.
Because, I believe in, you know, the majority of the social justice, like the things that need to be right, that aren't right. You know, all the isms out there, like that shit's fucked up. There's just it serves no purpose in my life. These things.
Can you give an example? So just make sure that we're on the same page here. Like you said, ism, like socialism. You mean like?
No. I'm sorry, racism, sexism.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
You know, like I've always been upfront about this. I grew up in a bad place. I grew up in a very racist valley in Virginia. We had the clan. My influences were terrible, and I am upfront that I was an asshole. Okay. All right, we all know that because I've talked about that before. And I didn't have the worldview that I have now. And there's a very important thing here of where I have changed drastically in how I view the world and the people around me, genders and race. Okay?
Okay.
So my entire approach into these things is there is no way that my view would have ever been changed if I was constantly attacked for being wrong. It took my wife and it took some very progressive people in the fields that I've worked to show me that, the invitation to be better is so much more powerful than constantly condescending and attacking somebody that doesn't believe in your, solution to a better world. It just can't. It will only ever breed more repressed disdain and hatred for these people that suddenly the biggest lie in the entire history of the world is sides. There are no fucking sides. When you feel like you've been pushed off to one side because you've been attacked by one, we get these things where the invitation to be better. Yeah. So racism's wrong. We know that. Attacking racist is also wrong because it can't fix racist. That's not how I found a better way of being. And even worse, if you're just suddenly attacking a racist, they're gonna be like, oh, I've got this reaction. Maybe this is what I want. No. That's not. I don't think that's how it works. It can't. That's not the way it worked for me.
You're absolutely right.
And we live in a society where anything you say, somebody will remember it and be like, nope, 20 years ago, that's how you still are. Yes. You can't change. Nobody can change. You can't flip-flop. You can't change your mind. God fucking damn it. You can change your mind when you're presented new information. That's how it works.
Exactly.
And I see this in the sides and the politicians where they really have to dig up the past to defame everybody. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't want people like that in my life, honestly. And I really want to stress to the community that I'm building that that's not how it's going to be around me. Because it can't. We can't improve. We can't have a better world. And I realize that this is a very small pocket, the people around me, my sphere of influence, the people that I can inspire. But, why wouldn't I do that? I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to look at it as I'm making no change in the world. I am.
But I'm going to stop. I'm going to say something there.
All right.
You might have a small group of people you influence, but they also have a small group of people they influence.
Yes.
So if
yes,
you
exactly.
it's a chain reaction here.
I know.
So if you're influencing people in a positive way, think of it, you're spreading the wealth across everyone.
Exactly.
So an issue that I ran into with my moderation was somebody made a comment. We were playing a Star Wars game and somebody said, well, aren't Jawas just midget Wookiees? I'd actually found out that midget's an offensive term a week before that. I didn't know that my entire life. It was just the word. You can't know something until you learn it.
Exactly.
And the way my mod went after that, it really got me thinking. And I probably shouldn't be more specific because I don't want to, lay out the person that made the comment or the mod. Mm-hmm. But it really got me thinking of how they must have felt attacked and in my space. They were attacked in my space, being like, that's ableist. Mm-hmm. You're a bad person. You just, you need to be punished. Even if that wasn't the intent, of the person, you know, of the mod, it can't feel good. It never felt
No.
good when people attacked me. And I won't allow that in my space. It is, you know, we have an opportunity and honestly an obligation to educate and invite them to be better. Not them, like, generic, like, you can't be held accountable for something you don't fucking know.
No, exactly, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, knowledge is power. You know,
It is.
knowledge shouldn't be guarded, and if you don't know something, that can't be held against you. But at that same time, how do we introduce that person to the right information so that that person can then make the decision to change their opinion or view or whatever on the subject. So I mean, that's huge.
It is. So like, you know, so in my head, the way this must have gone down for that person, because I think it's how I would have reacted. You get lashed out at, you get reprimanded, you know, and you're confused, and you have not been presented with this information. And maybe you're a troll, maybe you're just there to say words that are offensive, you know, but you know, we have the opportunity and the obligation, I feel, as community leaders, to like I said, to invite them to be better, to give them the information and alternatives, and let them know that they're still welcome.
Yeah.
If you don't,
By insulting and banning them, you just create another problem.
it's worse than that. You've created, you know, something that they're gonna, you know, a resentment
Yep.
that, you know, can grow into something worse. And maybe the next person, they're gonna do it out of spite, or they're gonna feel, you know, unloved and unwelcomed and, you know, non-included. They'll feel, you know, excluded. He's gonna, you know, like, Havok's gonna remember me as the guy that fucked up. No, and like, so there is, in my channel, we've adopted something called unconditional positive regard.
I wanted to hear this part.
I read about this while trying to figure out.
Can I stop? Sorry, can we take a 5? I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, I'd like to take a five,
I'm
too.
like,
Okay.
I need to take. Not that I really want to hear this, but I want to have full attention to this. Not
right.
sit here with my teeth floating.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's all come back in 5, and I'm gonna like blow your minds with something that has changed everything for me.
I hope so. Sorry,
is
I didn't mean to
awesome.
interrupt you. But,
Oh, good. It's good. This is a great play. I need to as well. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna take
Don't
a
go
5.
anywhere.
We're gonna take a 5. Be right back, and when we come back, Artyom's gonna blow our mind with some information. All right, guys. What's up, Retro Militia? There we go. Making quick work of this guy. Oh God, my gameplay. Well, yeah, it is what it is. It seems to be fairly good so far. Really? What's up, Retro Militia? Twitch is telling me it's excellent. Well, yeah, it is what it is. But looking at stream, well, yeah, it is what it is. Actually, I might clip that run. Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip that run of the. All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening here tonight? Got a little surprise for you tonight. If you guys didn't know. What's up, Retro Militia? Okay, we're good.
All right, we're waiting, Kyle.
How are you tonight? Tonight. Boom! Come on, let's go. Well, yeah, it is what it is. Solid. We got this.
Apex.
Oh!
Speedruns. Hot tubs. Things you want to watch. They're not here. We're still entertaining at Retro Militia. Streaming Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on Twitch.
What's up, Retro Militia? There we go. Making quick work of this guy. Oh god. My gameplay. Well, yeah. It is what it is. It seems to be fairly good so far. Really? What's up, Retro Militia? Twitch is telling me it's excellent. Well, yeah. It is what it is. But, looking at strength. Well, yeah. It is what it is. Actually, I might clip that run. Okay, we're good there. I might actually clip that run of the. All right, you guys should be getting audio to you guys now. What's up, Retro Militia? What's happening here tonight? What's happening here tonight? Got a little surprise for you tonight. You guys didn't know. What's up, Retro Militia? Okay, we're good.
All right, we're waiting, Kyle.
All right. If we're all ready, we're gonna head back.
Your camera.
Boom! Come on. Here we are. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just before we went for a quick 5 minute there, everybody had a chance to empty the water towers now, and we continue on with conversation with Artyom. He was just about to introduce a topic to us that we've been excited about, and we really wanted to hear what he has to say on this. So without further ado, Artyom, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right, so I made notes for myself, and I honestly, like, some of the things that I've read about this, because that's how I learned about it. Like, I couldn't word it any better, so I'm gonna read some quotes throughout this conversation. Not trying to be like plagiarist or anything like that, but
No, that's fine.
I couldn't word it any better. So this goes back to 1956-ish. A humanistic psychologist named Carl Rogers came up with the concept of unconditional positive regard, and kind of like the whole. So this is a like a psychiatric psychologist approach to helping people heal themselves. Well, not heal themselves, but just to be able to help them, and it prevents like the defensive shutdown, if you make people feel valued, right? Kind of like what I was saying, with like the invitation and whatnot. So, it's actually a hot topic. Like, some people believe in it, some people don't. And I read about this, and I realized that there are ways that I can apply this concept into everything that I do for the rest of my life or in my stream. And it's like, like I read this and I'm like, that feeling of like, I don't know, just sometimes you feel something and it feels like home. You guys know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it clicks, it resonates, and whatever. And then this one was instantly like that. So I'm gonna read a couple of things. So unconditional positive regard is defined by a humanistic psychologist to mean expressing empathy, support, and acceptance to someone regardless of what they say or do. All right.
Would you say that again?
Unconditional positive regard is defined by humanistic psychologists to mean expressing empathy, support, and acceptance to someone, regardless of what they say or do. And the way I've interpreted that is we cannot. So how I would use this in chat. I refuse to define my interactions with an entire person off of one comment, or one action of a human being. We've all made mistakes, and we've had people, that's their view of us, right? That's damaging.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking notes,
You're taking notes, right?
I'm not ignoring you.
It's just like passing notes to Kyle right now. When will he shut up? Yeah. So I just, and like, let me just move on to the next one here.
Yeah.
So according to Rogers, problematic behavior, like overeating, drinking too much, or procrastination, aren't altered with confrontation. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Confrontation.
Okay.
Judgment or punishment. Says they are remedied with compassion and understanding and acceptance. So that kind of feeds into the invitation of not just shunning somebody for acting out or whatever, but like the whole thing of like just make people feel welcome around you. Like it's just so in his view, we are wired for self-actualization, or need to fulfill our potential. However, painful experiences like being bullied, shamed, or judged thwart our growth. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. Whether we like had that connection in our head or not, we've all felt that. Like if you've been working on a project and somebody's like, "Oh, that sucks." Like, yeah, you're gonna lose all interest in keeping on with that project. And that goes back to how I feel about inspiring the people around me. You're never gonna improve if somebody is like, "That sucks. You shouldn't do that." Like I wanted to do graphic design. That was something I was very passionate about. 2009. I was making layouts for MySpace, and this guy I went to high school with, he just destroyed it. He's like, "God, that font," and it sent me like a resource of everybody who used proprietary script everywhere, and it's like you can't. And and then I realized like I wasn't alone in graphic design, and I stopped looking for a job in it, and I stopped getting better. That shit, just don't do that to people.
Yeah.
That is someone that's not confident in themselves. They have to bring people down to their level,
Yes.
so they feel better.
Yeah, I mean, it destroyed something I was passionate and fed fuel to that. Don't turn a passionate thing into a job. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it destroyed a thing for me that I'm just now getting back, working on the stream. I have a supportive group of people around me that, if something's a really bad idea, I expect them to stop me or like correct me or be like, whatever. But for the most part, everything I've done, people have received pretty well on the stream as far as layouts and designs. And it's encouraged me to not, nobody's been like that shit start over, but they let me do it, and they've let me realize I can do this better later. I learned the thing from following through with what I'm making, and I see ways to do it better, or maybe I'll learn a new program to animate something, but they've let me, grow into these skills by being supportive. So
that is awesome.
so that is a thing that I meet people that have like a blossoming idea of something they want to do. 100% I am going to get behind them as long as it doesn't do harm to other people. I will fully support them, and the huge thing about criticism versus constructive criticism. Your program here, your channel. I'm gonna throw Haggard and Seek under the bus here real quick. I was the first guest on there between two beards. They had about 2 guests, and they were like, Haggard wanted to shut it down. He wasn't feeling it, and I pulled them both aside in a conversation that I'm just gonna air all this out. I said, "Look, this thing that you're doing, I really believe in it, and you're in a make or break moment.
Absolutely.
If you guys, what's that?
Absolutely. That was a make or break moment for you.
If you guys, I really feel if you guys double down on what you think this could be, it will happen. And that was a month, 2 months ago. Look at them now.
Yeah.
They've got multiple people on a week. And you can tell every time they get on, they're excited to be there. So I'm going to take full credit for that. Because I really didn't want to see them fail with that after 2 things, because I've been there. I failed or somebody talked me out of something, right?
So I'm gonna tell you. So you influencing them to continue on, help influence us to do this. Because I wanted to do something like this, a little more away from gaming per se, and be more in a depth, I guess, meaningful conversation. So I thank you, and I thank Haggard and Seeky Wisdom for doing that, showing that light for us, and because for me, I'm missing a lot from leaving the military in this regard. I used to do a lot of this stuff and talking to people and doing hard conversations and helping people, and because of my job now, I don't do that. So I thank you, and I thank those two wonderful dudes as well. It's been awesome. So
You know how terrible it felt for me knowing that I was the first guest and having to cancel a bunch of times because of my health and because of the weather. Like
dude, you don't have to be.
No, I mean it just did. There are things I lose sleep over. That was one of them. Like I'm very passionate about making sure that I'm there on time to do my part and help something start. Right? If I'm gonna be you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I appreciate, but you also, there's a difference between not just showing up and not explaining yourself, and then you did.
Yeah.
You had a reason, like,
Yeah.
and we are grown-ups here, and everyone in this, even in the retro.
Whoa, grown-ups.
Well,
Get the fuck out.
I use that term fucking loosely, okay? Yeah, son the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, don't sweat, man. Like, if you've seen us and you were around, like, man, like, we're pretty laid back when it comes to that. Kyle and I have had a very couple small tiffs, and I've talked about this before. I had an issue with certain things, and I talked to Kyle about it, and we had an adult conversation, and here we are still. It's not like we had hard feelings about it, and that's something today's society needs to get over, is understand. Have an adult conversation does not mean, even though you have differences, doesn't mean you can't walk away and still be like, okay, we're still friends. Just because you're different doesn't mean we can't have differences.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, everybody. So it's not like we were all born with the exact same understanding of the universe. It's so infinitely different. The way you view one thing is not like other people are going to look at the same thing, but it's going to be a totally different set of emotions, thoughts. And being able to work with other people it's so key to, like, well, I mean, all the way down to our fucking survival as a species, right? Like, I mean, this is the reason for wars, is not being able to understand that we see things fucking differently.
Right.
And that's religions, that's all of it. I could just list things for days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the things that I think in my head that is essentially the same thing, but it's kind of like my mindset for, interacting and existing with other people, is you just have to assume that everybody's fighting a battle that you can never understand, but will never understand it, right? And that, then that, loosely can apply to, I mean, we're all looking at the same color, green. Like, that's my favorite color. That person might not feel anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a different thing between people. Every single thing, that we think or learn or expect other people to know when they don't. Or even, like, the emotion of how they got to that knowledge, which is really important when it comes to kindness and unconditional positive regard versus scoldings. Like, if you use the word feminism, right? Some people are going to be like, this is how we fix this problem with, with gender. And some people are going to react to it like, these are people that hate men. And that comes, that negative thing comes from a negative space about how I really feel that was handled incorrectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And two people are going to have very different reactions to that. And I think that's very important with unconditional positive regard. Being able to, realize that a person is so complicated, nuanced, and different. And one single thing just does not define that person. It can't ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For me, in this day and age, like, and this may ruffle a few people, and that's okay. I hold some reserve when we talk about all sorts the today's society's way of identifying themselves sexually and through sex and gender. You know, just like you were saying, like I try to steer away from a label because a label now puts a defined box, puts you in a box, and then there's expectations in that box. Um, and then what these expectations lead to judgment. Where just like what you're seeing today with disinformation and social media, what's happening is you're creating these polarization ideas of Republican and um,
Democrat.
Democrat. Thank you. Um, you could be Republican and have the other side's views on certain things. You don't have to be on one side completely.
When you
might.
when you
Sorry?
become so polarized on sides, you absolutely will eventually start demonizing the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they become the fucking enemy combatants, to your way of thinking, which is righteous and all good. And that's why I'm so angry at the concept of sides, because it only hurts us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. If there is a need for identifying a side, still you have to understand that they have their. You still have to be an adult and to say, look, just because they're on this side doesn't necessarily mean they're an evil person. It's hard, right? Like, I've seen this all through like different tours and stuff like that. People have these judgments, and I'll be honest, I fell into some of these traps myself, and then you realize like there's certain moments. I'm gonna tell a story. I'm sorry, I'm taking away your thunder. On my first tour of Afghanistan, the idea of okay, and I'm gonna use it. The people from Afghanistan are all evil. That's what they said. That's what the feeling was because you never know who's going to be the enemy because there's not a defined there's not like they're not in uniform. You never know who. So you get this feeling like, I have to watch everyone now, not because they are all evil. That's not the case. It's just that it just happens. And then one day, Thanksgiving, like Canadian Thanksgiving, um, I'm driving by, doing a normal routine run, doing an air sentry with duty in the back of an armored vehicle, um, and I noticed two children playing. These two children were playing in the garbage, and they were having the best time of their life on a Thanksgiving. I'm with no parents, and I'm thinking, wow, like that was a moment in my life. I was just like, these people are in such a dire need, and yet they can still have a human moment of enjoyment. Like, I was like, they're not an enemy. They're just trying to get through a shitty situation. They're dealt shitty cards. What makes them different from me? Where I'm complaining about first class problems. Oh, I didn't have hot water. Oh, I didn't have the best coffee. Like I don't know. It's one of those moments in my time. I was just like, I don't I have nothing to complain about. Like these people are in need. I'm here to help them. They're not an enemy. Just there's a select few people that are falling into a situation that either they think they're doing the right thing because or they're absolutely or they are on the far range. They're trying to just I don't know. I don't even know the full spectrum of that, but um, I sent that picture to my kids. I said, "This is Thanksgiving in Afghanistan." And it was one of those moments in my life that I'll never forget. and it just made people humanize. They're human. They're just it's crazy.
Yeah, awesome. Before we go on any further, Artyom, I know you had spoke about how much time that you had for.
I'm good.
For you're good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't. Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
I just
We can make a part 2 here. We can do a part 2.
Actually, let's switch pace a little bit here for a second. And we have had a question
Redemption.
a question from the jar from MacLad here. So we're just gonna switch gears for a second. We're gonna switch topics. We're gonna see what's
too serious, bruh.
we're gonna change it up for a second. We're gonna see what we
Don't get me
pull out
wrong.
of-
I like the serious questions.
Me too. Don't get me wrong either. This is amazing. It's been a great stream so far. I really appreciate the opinions and the stories and everything that's coming out. It's amazing.
Matt, glad if you're still here, throw out some emotes so we know that you're getting your redemption.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Here's question number 2 out of the jar from tonight. Oh, it's a nice one. So this is not super complicated. We're gonna do this one real easy, and it shouldn't have a problem whatsoever. All right, what do we got here? Serious question.
Serious question. How many
Nobody
listeners is there?
Nobody will ever.
If you're
get that one.
dedicated, it's one. You just leave it in the mouth.
All right, here's our second question: Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Rate them.
Rate them.
1, 2, 3.
I love video games.
Period.
Period.
Oh,
Yeah. Remember the thing about sides?
yeah. So number one. Yeah, number one.
Console war has no place in my heart.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna raise the question to you. Sides bring competition, and competition bring advancement. Is that a good thing?
Let me counter that question with
Sure.
how I feel about sides in video games.
Ooh. Okay.
So this is the way I felt when I was younger, and I 1000% disagree with myself now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have that thing that you get to have, right? And you can't have all the things. You know, you're young, your family may not be rich. You don't get all the game consoles, so you become, you know, a diehard fan of the thing that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, it was PC. So, you know, everybody's like, oh, you should get a PlayStation. You get a little bit of resentment. Like, I can't have a PlayStation. So I need to double down on how good my thing is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be damned. And then you do the thing with sides where you start demonizing the other thing and being like, oh, fucking the PlayStation will never have the graphics of a first-person shooter on a PC. You know, and I just that's such that can be such a black hole of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my energy now, from literally having my head shoved up in my own ass about being a PC gamer, is that I just love video games, and I'm now finally getting to see the things that I shut out of my life, you know, in my youth. I'm getting to play those PlayStation 1 games that I really wanted to play, but, you know, rationalized my way into hating.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have that thing. And when people talk about the console war, like, you know, part of me just assumes that comes from that. People have to make the choice over one or the other and then rationalize why they can't have the other thing or didn't choose the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you get a little bit of resentment when you realize maybe the thing you got wasn't so great. You know, grass is always greener. Like, there's... I love video games. I love people that enjoy playing video games, and I love any means to play a video game. That is the only answer I have for that.
There it is, folks. There it is, folks. Artyom, Havok, and his portrayal of, you know, the video games and his love for video games. That was probably the best answer that could have ever been given. Anyway, you know what I mean? That's the all-inclusive, very well-rounded answer, Artyom. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Jay, do you got something?
You should have let me go last. I'm sorry.
No.
For me,
awesome.
for me, it's a fine balance. Okay, so you have to have a certain amount of difference inside to create a sense of competition. It has to be healthy competition. Okay, healthy competition is what has advanced certain things in our life, and also gone the opposite way. Let's face it, right? So there is a fine balance, but we wouldn't have Sony and Xbox and PC the way they are today if there wasn't competition um in this world. Everyone wants to strive for the money. Everyone like that's the ultimate goal in certain in the business environment, right? Is having money, having followers and stuff like that. Because is it the only thing? No. Like I was a Sega person, and then it's not that I hated Nintendo, I just didn't have it. I'm like Artyom, my family couldn't afford it. I was lucky to have one. And now I have the pleasure of being introduced through Kyle and through my Switch now Nintendo games that I never was experiencing. Meanwhile, I got my ass kicked last stream.
You know, I've never held one of those.
Here,
No.
I've never held a Nintendo Switch. I've been waiting for the game that makes me buy one, and there's a Metroid game, so I'm finally gonna commit.
There we go.
yes, I seen it come out. Yeah, or it's coming soon. Is that the
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, next month.
But I don't. Yeah. So, anyways, time for work. Hey, Matt Glad, thanks for coming out. And you've been a great follower to Artyom Havok, and I'm glad to see you come in and supporting him. And it's been awesome to see you.
Matt
PlayStation
Glad
was-
is an amazing member of the community here in Retro, and an amazing viewer, and just all of you guys are just fucking great. I hope you know that.
Oh, yeah,
You
everyone
all
in
need
here
to
right-
know.
Oh, freak yeah. Yeah, everyone in here has been super awesome. Bart Snaggles, like PlayStation was created on pure hurt. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know what? If you had a mistake or something, you got conflict. What's important is what you do afterwards.
Here's a question. I don't know.
Write that one down.
Oh, is that? Are we choosing size or are we just going with technology and preference here? LCD or OLED?
Let me back up on what I said. That having a preference is okay. Like,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I just give you a hard time. I always am a devil's advocate. Because I
Bart
like
is
this
how to get me here.
CRT.
Yeah.
He's such an advocate for CRT. I love it. It's awesome. So, anything else? Anything else is really. I know you have a lot of passion, and I really love to see you on the stream again. So, but what do you have for us today? Like, is there anything else you want to talk about today?
Well, I mean, I had like a couple more thoughts on unconditional positive regard and its positive impact.
Go for it.
That's all right.
Floor's yours. Yeah, have it down.
I actually got like a couple more paragraphs I wrote down for myself.
No,
Hey,
you're good.
I love seeing passion. And it's I'm honored that you're here, wanting to come onto our channel today and talk about this. And it was one of those questions that stirred in my mind is what made you decide to come here today and talk to us?
Well, I mean, yeah, I wanted to share like what we as community leaders, and as a streamer, you are a community leader. You know that. People come here, they look up to you. You know, you have the microphone. So I think
I guess, in lack of a better term, yeah.
When we do, when some.
I hate to put you on the spot, and you can ask, think about it if you don't.
Well, no. So, when you see like, there was a Discord server I'm in, where somebody, somebody was really down. I feel like when you run a Discord or you're part of the community, that there is an obligation to help people out. I can't remember exactly all the details. Let me jump that one and go to a different one.
Yeah, sure.
Someone in my server had a conversation with somebody that was thinking of suicide. And I think that there are certain topics where I know I need to, and I think we all should be able to have information to give to somebody that is thinking of that themselves or has a friend. Because there are certain, we learned from Save and Ray talking to Dr. Dan. There's a way to talk to people, and then there's a way to not talk to people. And having information like Save's website has an incredible amount of resources on how to discuss, somebody that's in that place. How to discuss with them and give them, options and people to talk to. You should never feel like, oh, I won't be good at that, or I'm uncomfortable. You're not a professional, by being a community leader, but you should have information available because you can do that. And so, God, how did I get here? Where am I?
So we're talking. So I raised the question as to why you came to this channel today and wanted to talk about what you are talking about.
Because I have these things that I see that we can improve our circles. Okay. That's one of them. Unconditional positive regard, inspiring. These are things that we as community leaders, other streamers, these are things that we can do. I mean, we can. This spreads out. It's contagious, for lack of a better word. I know we're all sick of that word right now. But I feel very strongly about this, and I want to share it.
Oh, that's good. I
have spent so much time, in my life being miserable and surrounded by other miserable people. And I spent, like I said, like 3 years, like in some of the darkest places inside of my mind, pulling this apart until I've, come to where I am now. And it is shocking to me how quickly, something like that can ripple out into the community. And, like when you splash a wave in a pond, like if you splash it hard enough, it'll come back. It'll hit the other side and it'll come back. Like these things, treat other people the way you want to be treated. That shit comes back.
Yeah. That's true.
So I think it's really important. And those are the things that I want to, depart on everybody watching. Is that, I want you to feel like you have an obligation to, just at least be kind. And I always forget to say this, but sometimes I try to remember this every time when I, leave my stream, that I want all of my viewers to find somebody that maybe they haven't talked to. Just tell somebody how important they are to you. And this was something that, because you don't know who needs to hear what and when, and, what's the like ultimate win scenario there? Like maybe somebody's having a terrible day, they're thinking of suicide, or just needs some reassurance or some positivity in their life, right? Congratulations, we can do that for somebody. What's the like, the small amount of things that can do? I don't want to say like what's the least it can do. Is you've reconnected with an old friend. Like nothing. This is a win-win for everyone, that you do, and it's the little things like that. Get me back on track again.
It's okay. You know what? And I see rants as because you have so much desire to spread this kind of contagious idealism that it's hard to.
Is it an idealism? Is that? Oh god. Okay.
It can. Well. Well.
All right. I've never heard it used that. Okay.
Well, like
I gotta internalize a bit.
No, but like
Yes.
it is an idea, and you're spreading that idea. You believe it's a good thing, right? And most people will, right? There's some people that won't agree with you. You have to understand that. Like that's just gonna happen,
Yeah.
especially when the farther you go outside of your spectrum of community, someone's gonna say, "No, that's fucking horseshit."
That's exactly. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
gonna interrupt real quick. That is exactly where I see the guidelines of unconditional positive regard, because it helps you communicate with other people. One, when they say, "I don't believe in that," that doesn't demean their value as a person to you. That's just something that they have different. And it also knowing that and understanding and fully believing, as best you can. I mean, it is a guideline.
Yeah, of
This isn't
course.
something you just suddenly have and you're perfect at it every time. That
No,
won't happen.
you said
Um,
the perfect word, guideline. It's not a rule.
It is a
It's not a
guideline,
law.
but it is also a guideline. Once you understand how it works and what hopefully what you want to do, what you need to do, it helps you deal with the fact that not everybody's going to agree all the time. They are different people. And like you said, there are the people that are here and, they see what I'm about and that's what they want. And then there's people that are like, that's not right. Fuck that. Like, that's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to not, believe in, the things that I believe in. Just like it's okay to like a different console or a video game or have a different experience. These things are okay. Sorry, continue.
Where was I?
These things are okay for sure.
Where do I go from here?
I feel bad now, but I really had to get that one out.
Oh, that's okay. Kyle, you got anything?
No,
All right.
I completely agree. People have.
I have a question for Artyom. I think you have one, but I will ask. What three? Can you provide 3 words that would be you would consider your mantra in your
My
life?
mantra?
And I don't want you to answer.
I have a mantra. It's tattooed on my arm. It's a little bit more than 3 words.
I was gonna say you didn't have to answer, but that's okay.
No, I have
what
the
is
answer.
a mantra?
It's I can't speak. I'm terrible at Russian, so I'm going to say the English translation. But it is, if not we, then who? Okay.
If
It was if not we, then who, which is the direct English translation. And basically, that's if nobody else is going to do these things, like somebody, I have to, right? And I use that in so many aspects of my life, or my beliefs, or things that I see that need to be done. Whether they're on like an epic scope of social justice, or there's nobody viewing the streamer, but they have good content, and I don't understand why they're the only they only have one viewer. Like, it's part of the thing that I adopted, while I was understanding myself in the last 4 years. There are things that, I feel like that's my mantra. That's
okay. No, it's a powerful mantra. So mantra, Kyle, is kind of like 3 or 4 words that encapsulates an idea that allows you to guide yourself through hard, tough times, in a sense, I guess. Like I don't know, like one I used to have for running maintenance students: maintain maintenance beyond maintenance. Encapsulates not just focus on fixing trucks, but also establishing relationships with MSC ops and truckers and stuff like that. I'm talking, sorry, Artyom, I'm talking in Army terms here, just so just giving an idea how I used it. Mantras in my time. For me, I've been really contemplating was either doing this podcast or doing something of my own, or something with Kyle, or something with someone else, because I really love quotes. I really love mantras. I love those things because they are windows of times, eras, struggles. They like you said, one person can read it and mean something to them, and another person can read it and have a different meaning.
That's awesome.
So that's why I asked the question about if you had 3 words that would encapsulate his like a mantra from or
So what is it if it's more than 3 words? Motto?
three
Okay.
to 4 words is a mantra. Yeah. Yes, if it's more like I don't get wrapped around like the size of it. It's something
Sure.
that you take with you that guides you. Like I had a quote that kind of guided me to my demise in the military kind of. So I come to realization that I wasn't fulfilling it. So maybe I'm done. So
And I used to make fun of myself for just getting into these like awkward situations, and I'd just be like, "Oh, the fucking hero gear started spinning." So it's something that's kind of always been there, but it is, if not we, then who is
I love it. No, it's awesome.
is how it's how I approach everything, and and sure, and from here we can let's move over to Save and Raid and what that was, because that is pretty direct transition. And I didn't know this at the time. In the past couple months, I watched some videos on how to grow your channel, and they're all very mathematical, and it's about the numbers and the funnel, bringing people in and getting money, and I don't feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that in the back of my mind that's how it works, and that's how it has to work, but I don't feel that. I get an absolute just awful reaction to the idea that I'm supposed to think of my friends as numbers if I want to make money. I really want to believe, and maybe this is naive, I really don't give a fuck, because this is what I want. I want to believe that if I provide content that people, they're under no obligation. If it's worth money to somebody, then the money will show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see it any other way. Sorry, little bit of a detour, but what they said was that you should approach social media if you want to stand out and get paid as you need to find a problem that you can solve. Find a need that you can fill, find something that nobody else is doing, be unique, right? These things. And I didn't realize that I had done that with Save and Raid until I heard those specific words get used, and I'm like, oh, that is kind of what I did here. But with Save and Raid, now that I can frame it in a way like that, I was new to Twitch. I was hanging out in channels, pretty much 24/7 with all these great people and being like, this person and this person would get along so well. And these viewers, these are people I've always wanted to. It's a thing that I've always wanted. You meet a friend and they remind you of another friend, and you're like, these people would get along so well. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If you get them in the same room, I've always enjoyed that. But it's so much simpler on Twitch because it's zero cost, right? You can put 2 people in the same stream and you watch them hit it off, and I love that feeling. But Save and Raid was that's what that was. The original purpose of Save and Raid was all these amazing people with 5 viewers, right? What if I put all of these streamers together with other amazing streamers and their 5 viewers and their 5 viewers and did a thing, and I didn't realize how strong the community would be from that. I didn't think it would be like that. It was like maybe some of these streamers will grow their community by 10 people. I had no idea what Save and Raid was gonna do. And I am seeing people that met in Save and Raid actually go visit each other in real life.
Wow.
Lady Gamebot and Tiger
Hessian.
Hessian, Hessian just stayed over at her place with her and her husband. I never saw that coming. that's like that's the fantasy in your mind, is that you create friends, right? But you know, I don't. Maybe, like a bunch of the people that streamed under the retro tag would have run into each other. Sure, that happens every day. But some of these people, my friends, I don't think they would have found each other, had I not, created an event like that. And
I would have never met half these people.
Yeah, we wouldn't know each other.
No.
If it weren't for Save and Raid. They've been pretty upfront on Between Two Beards that was exactly because of Save and Raid that they felt inspired to create something like that to showcase smaller streamers.
Fuck, I spent half a fortune on it just because I believe in that, helping in mental health and promoting it. And it was the right thing, man. Like, it felt right. And sorry.
We didn't know. Sorry, Kyle, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, just in case, like, there's probably a chance, but in case we do have people in the audience right now that have no idea what Save and Raid is, could you give us a quick rundown of exactly like what Save and Raid was and how it went down?
Okay. What I'm gonna tell you is what Save and Raid is now. Because it blew up from my original plan into something that took on a life of its own and is totally different. Well, not totally different. We accomplished all our fucking goals here. Save and Raid is a large charity event. The first one was 24 hours long. We had 22 streamers stream for 1 hour each. We picked an easy, simple game that was easy to get the save files. The way it worked was the first streamer would play for 1 hour. They would send their save file to the next streamer after their hour and then raid them. They pass the save file and the audience. My vision for this was that it would be a snowball. Over the course of 24 hours, we'd see. That's why I did it first. Okay? I went first because this wasn't for me. This was not for me. My goal was not to, gain my views. It was to put these friends of mine in the same place. And I expected, a snowball event where, by the end, they would all be there. This was never about me. I've never said that, but it wasn't. Which is why I went first. So it was to grow communities. And I was like, well, we should do a charity, right? That wasn't part of my original plan. Be upfront about that. Bearded Bogle had been part of other charities, and he was an amazing friend. He is an amazing friend. That wasn't a was. Not past tense. The man is amazing. He's one of my earliest inspirations to be a streamer and have a community, rather than viewers. Whether he knows that he did that or not, whatever. Yeah. And that really does sidestep. That is how important it is that I think we're aware of how we possibly could influence people. He had no idea what he was inspiring in me, right? But the way he treated his community, their in jokes, the fact that they were friends, they had exchanged phone numbers, had visited each other or whatever. He showed me something that I didn't know existed on Twitch ever, right? So I think it's important that we're aware. It's important to me that I'm aware the things that I say matter and will, influence and inspire people. Right? Okay. What was I talking about? Save and Raid.
Save and Raid.
So what Save and Raid is...
And what it is.
We passed the torch. We passed the save file. We initially thought, like, oh, we're going to power through these games. We got most of the way through Doom 2. We played Doom 1. We beat it. Moved on, just kept going. 22 hours. We didn't quite beat Doom 2. The events raised $5,100 for the charity we picked, which I'll get back to in a minute.
Wow.
Good.
I expected 500, maybe 1,000. 1,000 was like, the fantasy of like, oh, we're only gonna have like 50 people tops. When I went live after I felt like I kind of felt embarrassed promoting this. I had a hard time getting anybody interested. Okay, I mean
really?
nobody. There were a couple people that like, oh, you know, Havok's doing this thing, let's go support Havok. I, you know, I met people that I knew I needed in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very intense, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all know that I'm intense. When I find something I love, I am full throttle. And that can scare people away.
I don't
And
know what
when
you're
you meet
talking about.
somebody on Twitch and they've never heard you speak or watch you fall in love with something, you know, like I do with, you know, various things in my life and games and people, right? Um, it's very scary, and you don't know because we're conditioned to think that everybody that, you know, is that intense needs something from you. They want something in return. And I'm not. That's not me. So I had a really hard time being like, I really want you to be a part of this. And it wasn't until after Save and Raid that I think most of the people involved in it saw who I was. And what, you know, how the intentions like came to fruition on this whole thing.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to fill 22. It was. It was almost harder to do that than to get everybody to not mute the damn event and, you know, get the instructions, you know?
Yeah.
Which is its own difficulty because people like to mute things and not be prepared or forget what they, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lost my train of thought again, sorry. So what it ended up being was amazing. When I went live, there were 50 people there instantly.
Wow.
Could not believe it. I think there were maybe when I passed on the save, there were 75 people there. I didn't think that the other streamers involved were, you know, gonna really go out all out promoting it. You know, it was just a thing that they were doing. We after rising to 150 viewers, it didn't really dip below that. I don't think I saw it go under 100 after it touched 150. And this wasn't an event where we brought in big streamers. The biggest streamer was Fractal Mind Mike, and he came in to fill somebody's shoe at the last second. It wasn't that I wasn't inviting big streamers. I brought in the people that I thought should meet the other people in the event. And, you know, similar, you know, community building, you know, whatevers. So I didn't do this with, you know, we need to get a big partner streamer and we all get famous.
No.
It was about combining smaller streamers.
So do you think that was the key? What do you think made it successful? Was it because it was genuine? You felt it was genuine because you didn't strive to try to get, oh, we're going to drag these big partnerships in. We're going to use people that are just like us, just came in to support a common cause. Because I saw it that way. Like I think your biggest streamer that I saw was Fractal Mind Mike, and even at the time, he wasn't even a partner.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And he came in, and came in genuine last minute helping you out.
Yeah, he did.
Right, like that's what happened.
He is an amazing guy and has been so incredibly supportive of me, my channel, and our friendship. I mean, it's so strong. Yeah. And it really was amazing to get him in there because he is a fucking force in here. You know, he is a force in the retro community. There's a reason that he got to partner so quickly.
Yeah.
He also is very, very much makes people feel welcome in his community. And he inspires me. You know, you go to Fractal Mind Mike's community because you know he knows who you are.
You need inspiration, man. We all need inspiration.
Yeah.
Where you get it from, it's up to you.
And I think at the time too, when Fractal Mind Mike, when it was his turn, I feel like he as well, like you said, he wasn't a partner at the time, and
He's jittery.
I think he was like, holy fuck, like
Yeah.
just how well received and how the just the size of Save and Raid when it came in was like, oh my god, like, you know what I mean? It was a force to be reckoned with, and I think you're right. I think you for me, Save and Raid was something that was never done before. You know what I mean? Like it was a thing that was like, this is such a cool thing, and I'm going to be exposed to. I'm going to get to see multiple different streamers kind of throughout the hours, and they're all going to have this common game to play, and they're, you know,
we got to see them all approach very similar things in their own way and show off parts of their channel. Like, it was, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
everything
wicked.
I hope
I still remember Shady Turbo and his
Yeah,
fucking,
eating the pepper.
fucking lipstick and eating the pepper. I was like, I was laughing my ass off. You know,
And Backlog Cabin's like, I'm not exactly going to show you my nipples, but here's some pasties for a redeem. I mean, we really got to see everybody. So we didn't get to see everybody super rehearsed either.
No.
We got to see everybody exactly who they were when, like, nobody expected a raid like that.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of people had never seen a raid, had never seen a raid that big.
Our first raid in Retro Militia was from you. Just
Yeah.
saying.
My channel? Was it?
Yeah.
That was your first raid?
That was our but like the first time you came in. That was our first raid.
Oh.
That
That's
was amazing.
awesome.
That was amazing.
I'm just putting it out there.
All right, okay. I mean, raiding is an essential part of my existence on Twitch.
I love the raids. I love the raid side of the house and what that brings to the Twitch community.
It causes me physical pain sometimes when other streamers just, like, they're like, oh, I made this credit stream, I don't feel like raiding tonight, this credit screen, like, but, that's okay too.
Yeah.
And this is something we talked about, is like, sometimes there's this obligation of, if you feel like you have to be chatting in that raid and you're like, I'm just fucking tired.
So
I'm just saying. It's this unnecessary obligation.
I want to throw this out there every chance I get in hopes that raiding is an incredible tool for community growth and recognition, right? And you can look at it very cynically. You raid a channel, the people in there know you're a streamer. You're not going to run into every channel and be like, hey, come follow me, right? You don't do that.
No.
Unless it's invited, right? And raiding is a passive way to grow your community. You have chosen a person to send your audience to. Remember how important that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That the choices you make, as far as where you're going to send your people, you've trusted them, with the viewers that you've come to know and love. And it builds a respect between streamers. They're going to remember you when they go to raid somebody and bring their viewers over, and this is how we grow. It is the most amazing active and passive tool we have as streamers down here, at the very low end, that that we can utilize. And I have heard this from several streamers now that it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm too tired. I don't want to feel obligated to hang out. Dudes, you just sat there for 6 fucking hours. No one expects you to sit there for longer. Go eat food, take a shower, get up, stretch. Like you've done your thing, which was sharing your viewers with another streamer.
Yeah.
So where do you think that obligation comes from?
I don't know. I don't know. Does it make sense to me?
Because I feel like that. I feel like that sometimes.
I mean, we all.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like I've said this to before, is Kyle and I, we talk about our stream afterwards. We have this military almost structure saying we have an after action report, we call it, and just say what went right, what went wrong, what did you feel, how did you feel about it, what can we do better, what do we maintain, and it's usually during a raid. Unfortunately,
I have seen streamers, and this is going to be back on that, that unconditional deal here.
Yeah.
that the way that they seem so disappointed when they're like, oh, raid and run, or oh, but you just got here, and these comments really, when they fester like that, they create behaviors. They have to create behaviors like I'm not gonna raid because they'll make me feel bad if I raid and run. I mean, that's the connection I have in my head. I don't know if that can't be true for everybody, probably, but it's that kind of thing that builds something like that, which is back to just make sure that you're inspiring and have a positive atmosphere,
so
because
maybe
these little things can fester.
So maybe like, I don't know, you put in a redemption of, say, when someone comes in and raids, you say, hey, just make them feel welcome. Say, hey, thank you for bringing your followers. We take a load off. We got your viewers, and so how you want to put it, like, so that they feel like, oh, they're gonna take them and like, not protect them, but nurture them, entertain them, and you're the torches hand passed on type idea. Like, so that they don't feel like they have to feel obligated to stay there the whole time. I don't know.
I feel this kind of the same way though, Artyom. Like you were saying, there's kind of two sides to the story there, or kind of two things to consider. When you raid somebody, you make that choice. You make that choice to bring, and your community respects that choice that you've decided you're going to bring your community and raid them, and they have an understanding that you're bringing them to a place that is of similar interest to what you guys currently are achieving at your channel. And then, yes, there is kind of that, it's almost like a underlying kind of rule that, like, if you raid, okay, you gotta kind of hang out and chat and do your thing. But there's also the other side of the house too, where, like, you may raid somebody. I've seen this happen numerous times too, and you raid, and then somebody's like, you know what, I've just been playing for 4 hours, and I'm just right at the end of my stream, and that works both ways. I think I don't see any issue with raiding, and then, coming in and going, you know what, I know my community's in good hands. I know they're going to have fun here, and they're going to enjoy things. Like you said, I just streamed for 6 hours. Have a great stream. You might get 1 or 2 questions. Hey, what were you streaming? Blah blah. Welcome in. You answer a couple questions, and then you're gone. And I don't think there's either as well. There's no obligation to the streamer that you're rating to be like, oh, now I have to play for another hour. That once you're rated, you have to play for another hour after you've been rated, and it's like, I think that stigmatism needs to kind of die down too, because we're introducing our community to a new streamer, or to another streamer into another community. If those schedules don't line up perfectly, that's cool. The intention is that you get in, you get a taste of another streamer, and you're like, oh, I really enjoy this. Maybe you pop a follow, maybe you don't pop a follow, and then, you go back and you see them again. You watch one of their streams from the start, and you get a feel for their stream and their community and whatnot. So, I mean, I think it's give and take, and it works on both sides for sure.
Like I definitely pay it forward if somebody raids right as I'm ending. It's like, I said this the other day because it did happen. I mean, it does happen. It's like, oh man, look, I'm signing off. Thank you for bringing your friends here. I am going to take them someplace awesome.
Exactly. The raid continues.
Yes.
It's a great concept. I think that's what's great about Twitch is, like, emotes, redemptions, raids. It's all about, even though I'm not on the screen, I'm still able to participate in that screen, and that is fucking awesome. Like, I'm on the unfortunate one. When I come into a raid, they don't know that I'm part of that stream at the time, and that's okay. And I mean, it's like, okay, you know what? It's not a big deal. It's like, I find it, but it's just hard to communicate. Oh, what were you playing? Well, we're playing this. And they're like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, who are you? Thanks, Ernie. Oh my god, okay. So big deal.
It was confusing. It was confusing.
It is confusing, right?
Yeah.
And I've come to realize that. So I try not to do it unless Kyle's like obviously doing something, and he's indisposed or whatever, right? So.
Yeah, I think at
man,
first when we did first introduce the Retro Militia and we came in as a partnered stream, or as a team stream here, like there was some like who's the streamer? Like
I know,
is it,
I know.
And then it was the whole like, no, this is the stream. Like I'm Kyle or I'm Jay. This is Kyle. We always have this joke that I've done this once or twice where I've introduced myself as Jay and this is Kyle and and that's been funny. But we've introduced ourselves as this team stream and I like that now. I think it's becoming. We've gotten enough notice now. Like we've got that community built where they know, oh, Retro Militia, that's Jay and Kyle over down at the Retro Militia, and that was like step one to this community, was building that team culture, and then building that community from there.
I don't even know how. I think it's just you being persistent.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, I don't know. We were both kind of persistent, but anyways. So I don't know what, like, for you, have you ever thought of being a dual stream, Artyom? Have you thought of multiple, like, roundtable, like, doing your own talk show with other people? And where do you see your channel going?
There's a lot to unpack with that.
Oh, of course. I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah, so God, I'm having a lot of thoughts right now. So
what?
No, yeah. I got this. I just need to
formulate it.
get from point to point here.
Yeah.
With C, Z, and X in the way. I need to know my limits.
Yeah, fair.
I've walked a really good balance. So there are certain things that, like, maybe I could do something like, these things that are on the back burner for whatever. I am incredibly busy. Literally creating something from nothing. I've got, just when I think I've got, a day off, there's something else to do. I get inspired. And go to create some ridiculous event, or do a month of rogue runs, or I still have to finish Blood Lily the movie. I guess have you guys heard about that?
No.
This bane of my existence right now.
Blood Lily.
All right, so back in end of October, November, I started playing Diablo 1. Okay, and I was just like, I want to play through Diablo 1. And then the fucking ideas started coming in. I was like, hey, who here can write? Wouldn't it be cool if somebody made short stories out of each stream, and we had like a little mini book of Blood Lily's adventure, which was a chat chosen name?
Gotcha.
Okay. Here comes another fucking idea.
Jesus.
Let's have my wife narrate it, and I'll use it as a previously on for the next stream.
Oh wow.
Okay. I'm not done yet. Here's week 4. What if I take this narration relative footage and use, Josham's story as a guideline to turn it into a scene relevant movie that's totally narrated?
Let's get through
that. Let's get through that and then get through December. And I'm gonna do this in January. What if I get a whole bunch of streamers together and make Save and Raid?
And
I have
just put the layers on.
Do you know what? Do we know what we call you? You know what we call you in the military? Really good idea, Fairy. You're an officer.
Yeah. So there are certain channels, like Bearded Bogles.
Yeah.
That I always say is like, all right, I gotta bounce. I gotta take a shower, and I can see the fear wash over Bogle. Because every time I have a shower, he knows he's going to be really busy for months. Because so I only get these ideas in the shower because
I was going to say a moment of reflection.
It goes into like creative autopilot. And it's like you're like washing up really good, and then you're like, I have to wash very fast and get to a fucking notebook.
Just bring the notebook in the shower. Come on, what the hell?
What I need to do, and my wife will just lose it if I do this, but start dictating to my phone my ideas while I'm in the shower. Like, okay, Google, take a note. I already wonder what she thinks of me when I shower, because sometimes I go into Mortal Kombat vocally with a shower or a spider that has like crawled across the top of the ceiling.
Get over here.
Yeah, that.
That's
Oh, you fucking.
I see a lot of channels trying to kind of do the same thing. Have you ever thought of uniting them in the sense of combining efforts into a coordinated effort, like a coordinated, not necessarily one channel,
like
but,
what you guys are doing, or like a stream team?
yeah, like just like, okay, so I pondered, so like Kyle and I've talked to Kyle about, like, okay, so what happens when life gets in the way? Who steps in with Retro Militia? Like I'm not going to be always here, or Kyle's not always going to be here. How are we gonna do that? Are we just gonna like not stream, or are we gonna have someone else come in, or are we gonna like adjust? Like how?
Sure. So I had to take more breaks in June than I've had to take since I started streaming, because of all those things. The weather.
Yeah, of course.
And in that point, Chester Mammoth, one of my mods, he is a personal friend from back in Fargo, North Dakota. Like, the guy's been to my wedding. Like, we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in my life for a very long time. He, from time to time, when he does an amazing amount of work to keep my spirits high. Let me go back to that. I always love bragging about how important this guy is. When I was paralyzed, because that's what happened with my spinal injury, I was stuck in bed for months, and this guy played co-op games that kept my spirits up, and he is just...
Aw.
I kill him from time to time, but I don't think it registers for him just how shitty of a place I was in.
Yeah.
Not being able to walk, but he... my wife did an amazing job.
You're also in a great place because you had a great friend.
I did. I had a great friend. I had two of them. I had my wife and I had Chaz.
Yes.
And Chaz kept me giggling. Like I had morphine. I was gonna giggle at anything, right? My mind was in a shit place. We play like Just Cause 2 multiplayer mods. We'd fuck around with this. We did hilarious things, and my spirits stayed so good. So when I was down and out, Chaz, and I couldn't. Oh, it was with the when the heat was too much, I couldn't run the TV and the air conditioner. It kept popping the breaker. It was 115 degrees. So Chaz started streaming a little bit. And because I could watch it on my phone, give me something to do, because I was literally going out of my mind. I laid in bed for 3 days because I couldn't leave the bedroom. The rest of the house was over 100 degrees. So I had the thought to finally bring this home. Chaz, maybe what would you want to stream to my channel? Do you want to be a streamer? Because he's not, and he's been watching. Like Sean Beanland did too. I think I inspired Sean Beanland to start streaming. Just one day he started doing it, and now he's recently an affiliate. But he was the guy that watched me, crash and burn for most of last year. He got... It was good for him. Like, he got to see what I did that didn't work, and now he's off doing his own thing, and it's fantastic.
The only reason I'm here today is because of Kyle, because he fucking on my ass.
So there is the thought that there may be one person that may stream to my channel when I'm down and out.
So don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't necessarily have to be streaming. Like, there's lots of stuff in as the streaming world. Like, you get the background stuff, like social media. Like, man, like combining efforts to to get that build that community out there, like that positive community.
Sure, that's just one specific thing.
Yeah.
I've got another thing that I can't talk about that may be the most amazing thing I've pulled off yet. And let me just say, so I met a guy yesterday that I think has the skills to do the thing, and it's going to be a collaboration with me, him, Fractal Mind Mike, and maybe a few more people. I can't say anything about that, but I always have something.
Always cooking up something, eh?
Yeah, this one, this isn't going to be like a save and raid type of thing.
I look forward to it.
But it's something that is so uniquely us and our communities in the retro, specifically the retro community, that as long as we can, and I'm not ready to talk about it until we know it's possible, because we may have to just can it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm right now so excited about the possibility of like some of the things that are cooking up in the background. That, also fix what I see as other problems, and I should stop. Okay.
I respect that completely, and I would have that same situation where, like, if I had something, I could, like,
That's okay.
I could hint, and then I'm like, I gotta stop, because if I
Yeah,
don't, I'm going to hint.
I want, but I also have learned my lesson.
Yeah, don't do it.
Over and over again, to not promise something until I know it'll happen. I think we all learned that with Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
That's too funny.
because I don't want to publicly fail. Nobody does. I think, with save and raid, fuck. So, I pitched the idea around. There wasn't a lot of people that wanted to jump on board, and I just kept waiting for somebody to tell me no, this is a bad idea. And the closest I got was one person just totally disregarded the damn thing and said, "Oh, I think this, magazine did something like that." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, what did they do?" And he described something completely different. So I know he wasn't fucking listening.
Yeah.
But that was that's still stuck with me as, one of those events where, just a single non-supportive comment can kill an entire idea. That could have killed save and raid for me if, somebody that I really, looked at as, an inspiration, or, a person that I'd be like, whose opinion I really respected and took to heart every time, like my mods. Like, I give them shit, but, my mods are good. Now my mods are not chosen lightly. These are people that I bounce ideas off of, and I trust them.
Retro Militia mods suck ass.
Yeah. And several of my mods, I think most of my mods are lifelong friends at this point. 2 of them I know in real life.
You gotta have a relationship.
Very important, and they have a lot of power. And I just want to hit this one time: vet your goddamn mods before you take them on.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've seen a mod that's been, if you have the opportunity to talk to somebody else that they've modded for, like, even if it's just, making sure that, you don't do a bad idea, or
absolutely. They're the first point of contact.
Make sure that you have people that'll support the good ideas and not say no to ideas where it really needs to be, let's fucking try it.
Yeah.
Because that's such a thing. Is like, you can have well, maybe that'll work, or let's fucking try it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
and then not mention what the worst thing could happen. That's the only reason save and raid happened, is because nobody told me no. Because I didn't know if it was a good idea or not. I really waited, like, even after the event. We did that final stream where we all talked about what we'd accomplished. Up till that point, I was still waiting for somebody to say, "I told you so," or or be like, "I knew this was going to be a bad idea." And so, save and raid inspired a lot in me too, because I'm willing to take more chances. And so people still don't tell me no, really. So I feel very confident now to just be like, we should do this project.
Hmm.
And
Well, I think no one said no to you because it was a good idea. Everyone felt the reason was Save Marie was so successful is people believed in this. There's something bigger than them, and it just felt right. And that's the thing about humans. Sometimes we can't comprehend it and it's just something that is embedded in us. It's emotional, and when it becomes emotional, it just either it fits that picture for you or not. Like it's hard to put it in words. So that's why you didn't get that back. You didn't get that pushback because your mods saw it as a good idea.
yeah, and then and that's the thing is surround yourself with supportive people, and even some bad ideas. You know, if people support you through a bad idea, that's still a good opportunity for a learning experience. You can crash and burn.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can crash and burn. You can learn from yourself. Self actualization. Like and then you can look at what did and didn't work. Like you. Like if you're not gonna harm anybody, there's no reason for anyone to talk you out of something.
No, exactly.
Like, and your mods need to feel comfortable to say that's a dumb idea, or not maybe dumb, but that's not a good idea. Because they need to feel like they can express their own opinion and help you, because they're trying to help you. They're obviously taking their own time to support that's the stream and your cause and that um my event that they're feeling this and they're giving their opinion. And if they express why, and it might have maybe you can adjust it and to be an even better event. Who knows, right?
This T-shirt is exactly one of those things where they know that they can talk me out of a bad idea, and that they're always welcome to do so. And it's always prefaced with, I may not like it originally, but I tend to come around on things. I mean, like old consoles when I had my head shoved up my ass on PC games. Like I've come around on that. Like, I hear it, but sometimes I need to process an idea to whatever. This shirt, I wanted this text to be black, and they're like, "What if you use opposite things?" And I was like, that's not what I want. And I sat with it, and I made both, and I ordered both, and they were right. This is an amazing shirt. The opposite colored like cutout of the text, like this is exactly what it needed to be. So I really hope that my mods know that I do listen to everything they say, even if I'm not receptive of it immediately. I hear it. And it does affect, my decision-making process. I just,
Well, that just tells me you're a visual person. You needed to see the final. You needed to see the product at that time.
It's not just that I saw the shirt when it came out. That was like a reaffirming thing.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think we all, we want to do our own thing and, not be terribly influenced by other people. Like there's that thing in the back of your head.
Yeah.
You're
trying to perpetuate yourself
right all the time. It's
you're trying to perpetuate yourself through life, right? And generations. Like you're trying to make a name for yourself, and that's not natural for people, right? You get to a certain age, you like realize like what is my purpose in life? And you're like, I don't know, like what do I do? Like, so how are people going to see me when I'm gone? Yeah. Anyway, that's a deep subject. That's a deep subject. We don't need to get into that.
Well, we can.
Well, we could, but I think that's another. I think we should have you on for another part or another episode for that. If you want, if you wish.
My biggest problem is, my brain doesn't it doesn't. It like I said earlier, it doesn't go to A to B. You know,
That's
like
fine.
I start out with a thought, and then my brain is elsewhere. You know, it's ADD or whatever. Um, and it's very difficult for me sometimes to get consecutively the entire thing out that I want. And you know that gets compounded when there's three people riffing off of each other and um so
So peop-
yeah, I would absolutely love to come back and talk about more things.
Oh, absolutely. Like
Oh, for sure.
we have a VOD. You can watch it and say, "Oh, I forgot to say this."
And I'm going to yeah.
No. Like it would be an absolute pleasure to have you on again. This has been for our first episode of Between a Rock and a Hard Place. I was like, this has been an absolute success for me. I think I could say that for Kyle on his behalf as well.
Well,
I
I'm in complete agreement with that. This has been an amazing episode. It's been an amazing premiere for our Between a Rock and a Hard Place, and Artyom, you and your community. I mean, you've been amazing. You've been an amazing host for our very first host. There's been no lack of conversation ability here. We've
No.
not had a dull moment since
I was
we
just gonna say
started.
that.
Since we started here, it's just been and we've had conversations from video games to life.
Oh, it's
and
been crazy.
and it's been amazing, and I want to take this time to thank you for agreeing to come on here and chatting with us. It's been amazing, and I completely agree, Jay. We are definitely gonna have to have part two, Artyom Havok part 2 for sure, because there we could, like you said, we could talk forever and ever and ever.
You are more welcome to come on all the time.
There's a good vibe, man. There's a real good sense. There's a real good vibe here, and we really appreciate that. Unfortunately, this is the time where we're going to start winding the stream down, so that everybody has an opportunity to enjoy it, and we can save some stuff for a little bit. What I do want to do, I want one more question out of the jar. And then while we're getting that question out of the jar, Artyom, I just want to offer you the opportunity. If there's anything that you'd like to plug, anything
absolutely.
you'd like to throw out before we wind down to stream, and yes, we are doing a raid as well. But that's going to happen. We'll set up for the raid and that. But the floor is yours right now. We're gonna get one from the jar. But whatever you have, something you want to plug, something you want to talk about, by all means, the floor is all yours.
Sure. Let me meander through that.
Is there one redemption per person for the jar there, Kyle?
I think so. Yeah.
Just so they know. Okay.
So I'm an affiliate, so there's Twitch paychecks and stuff, and like this is my job, like I'm not. We're gonna talk about money things real quick, and the things that I'm plugging, the things that I'm working on.
Yep.
But any money that comes in, like this is a thing that I could continue doing without any money. But money grows it.
Mm-hmm.
That's more content. Not that I really need it, but it's things to share, not show off. This is share. That's another one of those words. I'm not here to brag. I want to share things because I can. Right?
Exactly.
And so all money, anything that supports me, goes directly into the channel. This payout, I'm buying other streamers' t-shirts to wear. They're not giving me t-shirts. I'm going out and buying them and supporting them because I want to.
That's awesome.
That's a huge thing. I'm going after Blam Heresy shirts. I'm going to grab one from C-Cross. He's got an amazing shirt. There's a couple. I have a list somewhere and I kind of forgot. Sorry if I've forgotten your shirt. Also, if you have a shirt and I don't know about your TeePublic. Oh, Fractal My Mic is a TeePublic, so I'm going to grab one from him too.
I have his. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I bought yours, but I don't know. I haven't seen it come by, so I'm like, maybe I'm gonna have to go back. I thought I did. I don't know. Something happened there. Anyway.
So there's merch. Everything's on this link right now. Flow page. I'm switching. I'm leaving link tree to go to flow page because they can do QR codes, and I want to have a card or something.
That's awesome.
the big one right now. You remember I talked about how I, got ruined on graphic arts and photography. So I found the most me thing possible, which is a Sony Mavica, because I love retro tech. So I've got a digital camera that records images on floppy disks.
Oh wow!
Do like 5 seconds of video, 10 to 24 images on a floppy disk, depending on the resolution, right? And I was like, this is something I've always wanted, and I had an idea about how to have a Patreon project that would be income for me, for more stuff for the stream. But like, I'm not gonna get on. I wouldn't want anybody to give me money if they didn't get anything. And I understand sometimes people just want to give money, but I want something physical that they can have, minimum costs, so there's, it's profit, right? So I decided to commit to a Sony Mavica and to take retro digital photography. These are low resolution images that I upload weekly-ish. There's a $10, $5 tier. I don't remember my own tiers, but there's a low tier where you just get to see these low resolution images. I mean, it's garbage. They're low resolution images. It's not, I'm not going to win any like clarity awards. You're getting Nat Geo. This is just a thing that I want to do. So all of these images, they're there for free. They're random shit that I feel compelled to take a picture of, just like any other photographer. And I'm putting the best ones up there that people can view every week-ish. Sometimes I miss a week. Weather's too bad. I don't go outside. Whatever. I also upload a video string because you can put 5 seconds on a floppy disk. Remember I said we were going to talk about TikTok. So I have these very low resolution, like 320p. 5-second videos strung into a video. And the microphone on this thing is a very cool tone. Between the sound and the very blurry video, you get like a weird glimpse into things around me. And I was like, this was the first time that I was like, oh, so this is what TikTok would be. This thing I've never understood. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing that here, and this is my, retro spin on it. So we're not stopping there. There are 2 very supportive tiers that you get a physical thing from. Oh, all the images and video files, download, use it wherever you want, completely royalty free. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. That's yours.
Awesome.
That's yours. So the other thing that I'm doing is every month I do a retro digital photography stream. We boot up the Net Vista. We go into Windows 98 in old software, and we just screw around with photos, and we make art. Art. My original plan was like, oh, we're going to touch them up, and then I was like, this is boring. Let's invert the colors and trace over it, So those images, and these are exclusive to the $20 and $30 tier. Those images go on floppy disks. These are my floppy disks now. I made labels. Ooh. It says Artyom Havok Variety Plus Retro, plugs the Twitch. It says Sony Digital, Mavica, Retro Photography. It's got a month and a date, all right? So these are the $20 tier discs, and they're loaded with I think they're cool, and this is just something physical. I mean, this is totally for support. Do not expect, like mind-blowing art. This is just something fun and physical that, I can do. And I've got a couple people that support it, and that's awesome. So I was like, I can actually do better than this. So the $20 and $30. So this is the one for the $20. The $30 tier is a different disc, a different kind of disc with a different logo that has the HVK. I'm just calling this my signature. Like I sat down, what would a Havok signature look like? This is it. HVK.
Cool.
All right. So, okay, so I can do this at minimum cost too. These are 99-cent frames, and I got a picture printer at home. So when you get the disc, either one, I'm gonna send you a frame with 2 images in it that I pick. You don't get to pick these. Say this now. I'm only printing 1 of each of the images. Whatever's in your frame, you're the only one that has it, right?
Whoa.
In a print, anyways. So these are ones that I have for sale. Sorry, let me jump back. So you get 2 images. I'm not gonna tell you what they are. I picked them at random. You get the frame and you get the disc. Guess what? This fucking frame, the disc fits right there.
Wow.
It's all one. Got your kickstands. This is a plan coming together by total accident. All right, this was beautiful. So this is what you get, and then you get to see. You take off the back, and there's 2 images hidden in there. You gotta take it apart to get them. And they're ones that they're either random or I think they're an image that I think you will appreciate the person, right? If I know you well enough for that. Like I'm always gonna send Seiki Wisdom pictures of food.
Cool.
But and these are super abstract. So then there's these. These are the remainder that I didn't send out from last month. This is actually a drink. This one that I'm calling Jupiter is also a drink. This is whiskey in a glass.
Oh wow.
Don't ask me how the fuck I made it look like Jupiter. It just happened. I really don't remember what this is. I think it was a flower. We got there somehow during the stream.
Cool.
But it's pretty abstract stuff, right? So the ones that are left over, I'll sell for $15. So that's either like, and you're the only one that has it, right? So that's either a PayPal donation or, as I found out when Dragon Gym, fantastic streamer by the way, Dragon Gym is amazing.
Dragon Gym.
Dragon Gym and Hairball are streamers I found recently. And they are so much a part of our community now. The same with I could just name off amazing streamers. Let's not get sidetracked. There are so many great people I've met just in the last 6 months. But so she bought one of the pictures from yesterday's stream. And I found out that you can do a one-time Patreon support. I didn't know you could do that, but so $15 there will work too. And I'm going to have more printed out. I'm going to try to figure out. I display them in my Discord. There's also a link in there for the Discord of which ones are available. So that was the first one I sold. These have sat here all month, and that's fine. That's fine. Not everything's for everybody, and I'm not begging people to do it. This is a hobby that I am doing for fun, and anything I make off of it, I'll keep doing it. Like this isn't like I failed if I don't reach a certain amount. So I don't want anybody to feel obligated to support this or me. Right?
You mind putting? Do you have the link again?
Yeah. Thanks for shouting out Dragon Gym. She's great. Yeah, so there's a Patreon link there, and you guys can go peek around. If you don't want to send me money, that's fine. Every month I will throw up images that the public can see that aren't locked behind the paywall. If you just want to follow and get a glimpse into what I'm doing, great. This is a passion project.
That's really cool, man.
And I also, I wanted to inspire other people. Like I'm doing a thing that's very specific to me, and I love it. I do. I love it.
I love that Sony Maverick camera, man. That thing looks really cool.
So cool, right?
I am such a geek when it comes to retro technology, and one of the things that I like when it comes to retro technology, I like to find some retro technology that somebody has discarded or that has no use for them or that is in disrepair, and I love to bring that back to life and utilize it and have an experience with that stuff. I love retro tech, and that camera was just like, when you showed that, I was like, wow, that's so cool.
They're so cool. So warning, if you don't have one, right?
No.
You just seen that for the first time. So
Yeah.
a warning about them. They do make replacement batteries. The trick is getting one that you can verify that works, because everybody's like, oh, tested, it works, but there's no batteries. They probably have one working battery that they're just testing things they find at a Goodwill with, maybe.
Okay.
I was lucky and found one that was new in box. Box was open, pretty beat up, but this camera never got used. Got all the stickers on it still.
Wow.
Battery was never sealed. And if you can do that, I did that for like $65-$80. Like, they're not super expensive.
Yeah.
And you can get a $15 one with no proof of life, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'm actually thinking about taking some of the Patreon direct money and upgrading to one with an actual lens on it. Because there's some nicer ones out there, and I'm really loving this project, like really loving it. So I kind of want to take it to like the next level. Of course, I got to be careful if the resolution's too high. I can only fit so many things on a disc before I have to like resample them.
That's something that's pretty cool too. Like going back to limitations of floppy disks and realizing that wow, you know, they're like the constraints that we were under at that time for the size of floppy disks, and that, you know, it nowadays what we send back and forth in a text message and pictures and whatnot, like, would blow your mind that, you know, that would take 3 days to send to somebody, you know, back in the day.
Okay, so here's the limit of a floppy disk. It's 5 seconds of a video. Trying to remember this. 1024 by 768. This camera can go up to like 20,000 resolutions. Like, it's crazy. And that's one image per disc. 1024 by 768 is about 10 images per floppy. 480 by 360, you can get about 31 images. I started doing them in the higher resolution. Like, when I take this camera out, like, I've got a stack of floppies, and these things are coming out like shell casings, right? It's just fucking just crazy to reload a disc or a camera like that.
That's too funny.
It's just, you get some looks too.
I can imagine. Yeah. Like, what are you taking pictures
Why are
with?
you 3D printing those fucking save
Yeah.
save icon?
Well, the camera is so cool because you can format a floppy disk or use it to make a copy of a floppy.
Yeah.
So, like, if you got an image full of things, and, like, this was probably the sales pitch back then, is like, oh, you know, just have another floppy and make a copy, you know, at your grandparents' house and give it to them or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's some really cool features, and it formats floppies fast. Like, it really is cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, which one do I have? I have the FD. Sorry, there's a couple numbers, and I'm just not sure. I have the FD90. So it's one of the nicer ones without being like an extreme high-end one. I think this camera retailed somewhere between $800 and $3,000, depending on the model back in the day, back in 2000.
Wow.
These were not cheap.
It doesn't surprise me with Sony.
These were not. Yeah, Sony cameras have always been expensive,
Yeah.
but this was breaking edge technology. You know, cutting edge.
That's crazy.
They existed in the time frame that they made an adapter that looked like a floppy disk to go into it that took their memory stick.
Oh.
That was an upgrade for these cameras within the lifetime. That's how short the floppy disk camera lifespan was. Their adoption rate was huge. Like, you're pretty hard pressed to not come across at least one person a day that's seen one or used one.
That's crazy. Listen, man, thanks for sharing that with us, man. That was really cool, and I encourage all of you, definitely hit up the link in the page, the flow page. Check out the stuff that Artyom Havok is doing, his social media platforms and whatnot. I mean, amazing work, man. And you are a man that definitely seems to be very motivated, and you know, you seek the goals, and you have these ideas, and you work for them, and you know what, I congratulate you for that. You've done some amazing things. Save and Raid is just one of those examples of cool things that you've done, and I'm sure within the inner workings of the mind of Artyom Havok, there's going to be some pretty cool stuff on the horizon for you guys. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, let's get that last question out of the way, out of the bucket, and then we should set up for our raid here tonight. And yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing stream, guys. It's been an amazing stream. Okay, what do we got in here? What do we got? Okay. The question is, beard or smooth face?
What? Beard. I hate my chin.
Beard. Awesome. Awesome.
There you go.
Beard. I love my beard too. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to beards. Jay is definitely the smooth face there. Likes his chin. That's amazing. With that,
look at that.
Look at that jawline. Look at that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got a great jawline and chin. This suits you.
Yeah. This is my jawline.
I see that. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Well, yeah. It's been absolutely a pleasure. I know that Artem, you requested to do a raid.
I did. A very good friend of mine, Purblind Gamer, just made affiliate. Today's his affiliation celebration stream.
Whoa!
Um, yeah. So this guy's great. He really is. And I hope you guys like him. That's just all there is to say.
Can we get sorry, what was his name again? I just need to.
Purblind Gamer. It is. Let me spell it out for you.
Got it.
PURBLINDGAMER.
Got it. Perfect. He is
Cool. I
playing.
just checked in to make sure that he wasn't wrapping up. He's gonna be going till midnight. I think he's East Coast.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
listen, I want to take this opportunity as well to say thanks, Artyom, man. It's been an amazing chat. No lack of conversation here.
Oh, thank you.
You've
Thank
made
you.
our very first, our premiere of Between a Rock and a Hard Place very easy for us. It was very very well done. And again, congratulations and thank you very much for coming on.
So I also want to take time to thank the viewers that just came in to hang with us and listen to us. Thank you so much. And I also want to take the time to say our next guest, which is in our Discord schedule, is going to be Lady Game God.
Lady
So
Game God.
yes, so
Oh,
another
Lady
fantastic
Gamer is
streamer.
Fantastic.
Um,
She's so cool.
I can't
Yes.
wait. I can't wait for that.
A total chance that she came into my life and has been
I know.
one of my biggest inspirations. She was one of the first people to jump on Save and Raid. Like, it just yeah, and I wouldn't have imagined doing it without her because she's just been so. She's fucking great.
There
Seriously.
she is, Lady Game God
Yeah.
in chat.
Oh.
It's me. Hey, what's going on? We look forward to having you on the stream for the next Between a Rock and a Hard Place. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start up this raid. It's been a pleasure again. Artyom, thank you very much for coming in, man. It has been a blast.
You're more welcome to come back too.
Oh, we will be doing part 2. There's so much more that we can talk about. 100% so much more we can talk about. All right, guys, have fun over in Purblind Gamer. I have got to go drain the water tower again. We are going to be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we'll see you. Awesome. Okay, guys, have a good one.
Just waiting for that raid. There it is.
He doesn't even care. He's just like, get off me, spider. Oh no.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us. I said that was okay.